2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Airing It Out podcast, kind of live. We're live on Instagram. Thank you for joining us. We're trying to get more eyeballs onto the show, so please follow us on all our handles. We're also trying to get our subscribers up so we can get this custom URL. Without further ado, I want to introduce my partner in crime, Hollow Clutch. What's up, Hollow?
Going on? How you guys doing? I'm glad. Make sure you guys, man. Make sure you guys show up, show out, man. We're growing, and it's a slow process, but it's a step-by-step process, and we're striving to be the best that we could be.
Yes, we're working very, very hard. We do some crazy stuff on Instagram. On TikTok. I'm on Twitter, Hot Body. Please follow my man Hollow on his YouTube channel and on his TikTok. This guy mokes more kids on Call of Duty than anybody else. All right, so speaking about moking kids. All right, so you seen the video just now.
Yes.
You're saying good kill, no problem. Nothing to be alarmed about.
I don't think any kill is a good kill, but I don't think anything should be alarmed. Again, another person who the cops run up to his car, say stop, get out, you reverse, and you drive towards him, and you keep going. What is
we empty out magazines for shit like that?
If there's an arrest warrant, a drug warrant for your arrest, there's something going on. You're not a perfect civilian. Now, it's always going to be a lose-lose when it comes to these things. Now, let's say if the cops get into a chase and that guy starts driving and speeding down his block and kills 5 kids in the street, then it would be, why didn't the cops stop him at his house?
That point is fair. But okay, how about shoot at the tires? All I want to know is why we don't shoot to maim.
That's not they're not trained that way.
And we need to change. We need to change the training.
What happens if
when you go to the thing, right? Somebody was clowning on me this the other day, so I'll let you clown on me too. Mm-hmm. When you go to the range, aren't you trying to get sections?
I shoot him right in the head every time. Okay. I try to aim right in the dot.
Which is too much Call of Duty for you. When I went to the range, I was center mask, of course. You want to practice center mask. A headshot is obviously harder because it's a smaller
target
piece to hit. Yes. But I was like, okay, I can hit the head. I can hit center mask. Let me try to see if I can hit his shoulder. Let me see if I can hit his waist. I'm just saying, it's a fucking car. How did you have a hard time missing that? You could have shot up the tires. There was a lot of things. Bro, when you have 10 to 20 guys shooting, I don't care if it's an AR, a handgun, that's a lot of rounds.
What they should have done, if anything, is have 2 or 3 more vehicles and box them in.
Right. Bro, that's what I'm saying.
Have 40 cops there. Have mad cops with fucking armed vehicles and trap them in, but he can't drive away. It could have been like that.
I think it would have been better. I mean, to me, this is my point. And you kind of side with this jury. They're saying it was a clean kill. But I don't think that that's true.
I think in the moment it is.
I just think that that's crazy, man. I get it. Look, I side with don't do nothing. You got the one right. The only right you kind of have is remain silent. That's it. That's the only one you got. That one and a free attorney. Outside of that, get arrested. But I'm just telling you that I have friends and we've been in situations and people get nervous.
Agreed.
Obviously, if you got a warrant, you don't want to get bagged. But should I have 100 rounds in me because I ran away? What if he ran away? How about if he didn't have a car? Would that have been worse? If they should have just started opening fire on him?
I think if he was running away and he has nothing in his hands, they could chase him down.
I feel like police don't want to chase you more. They're done with the chasing.
But that's not true either. There's been a lot of videos where, again, if there's nothing in your hands, then it's fine. But if there's something in your hands, you don't know what could happen in that moment if there's something in your hands. I think it's to me again. I think it's another clean shooting. I don't think there's. I think it shines more of a light on that we need better police training. I don't think that.
Sure. I'll take that argument.
I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing. He wasn't just sitting in his whip. They didn't pull up on him in his whip and just let off in his whip. Now, if they would have done that, that would have been a little shaky. But he backed up. First of all, he tried to break off to the right when the SUV pulled up. That's why in the beginning of the video, he's kind of close to the house because he was trying to book it to the right.
I get that.
But what happened was he backed up and then booked it to the left.
All right, so look, let's talk about police training.
Uh-huh.
First of all, you don't got no surveillance on this dude. Nothing. You don't got nobody sitting in the car with donuts watching homeboy's actions and movements.
Maybe they were. Maybe that the whole point was once he gets in his car, we're gonna roll up on him. That was part of the plan.
I got it, but man, just roll up. Like I would have ran into his car. Like what I'm saying is like the way they geared up, it looked like they were coming to shoot somebody. Bro, did you see that those dudes showed up mad tactical?
Good. You should. You're good. You should. You don't know what he has in his car. You don't know how many. I don't know. Well, I don't know how long the surveillance is of how many people got into his car at the moment. Because obviously that's on bang bang. Or pre they don't show before that. They just show them rolling up on them.
Right. They don't show shit. That cam is garbage.
So, they should. Well, the thing is that in LA, the LA bank robbery is the reason why the cops had to change everything. Because they were running on automatic weapons, and you had these fucking cops with revolvers trying to fight off bad guys with machine guns.
Point blank. Yeah, I mean not point blank. Point
so
blank.
They had to change it up in order to combat these criminals. Now, if Homeboy was a law-abiding citizen and there was no warrants and nothing, and they just rolled up on Homeboy, and then Homeboy took off and they shot him, then I'm like, all right, that's kind of fucked up. But there's a reason why. There's a process that he was doing something wrong and illegal. So there's something going on there. He ran for a reason because he didn't want to get caught.
I got him. I dig that. I'm just saying, like, look, I agree with a lot of the stuff. My question is, did they have to unload, bro? There was a lot of shots. They
only hit him 5 times, so they're not even that good.
Right. Again, you suck more.
Yeah. So a
big ass car. You heard those shots? They at least let off like 20, 30, 40 rounds.
And only hit him 5 times, so they're not that good.
They suck.
So to me, again, as another justified shooting. I don't know what. Again, what do you want
excessive force? It's just too much.
I don't know. You got a guy who's driving his car at police officers. First of all, because they surround the car and they tell him to get the fuck out the car. You get the fuck out of the car. Why is that so difficult for people to understand? There hasn't been a police shooting where the guy gets out of the car and they shoot him dead. Show me one. It has not been one. You get out of the car, you put your hands behind your back, and they take you in, you get a lawyer. And if anything, they treat you wrong along the way, you're going to get paid. Why can't we just do that?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question.
Why can't we do that? And I get it. Anytime there's any videos of any ethnic group, period, you can maximize that group and say, look at this one video, or look at this these 2 videos. But then there's 100 of the opposite going on. Like, it's a statistical fact. Cops kill more white people than black people.
I know that, but also too, there's more white people in the nation.
Okay, but why are black people responsible for 50% of the crime?
I get that statement too.
So which one is it? And they're not shooting fucking Goldman Sachs black people in their cars. It's not happening like that. It's these guys who are dealing with drugs, stealing. I saw the story the other day. We're not talking about it, but I'll just tap on it right now. You have these 5 black kids who were stealing unemployment money. They stole like $4 million in unemployment money. Like, do they deserve to be shot and killed? No, they do not. But if they get a warrant for their arrest for stealing, unemployment money, and then they run, they were doing something in an illegal activity. The news does a great job of trying to make the police seem like this bad organization when it's not. If it was, then out of all of the interactions police have, it would be 50-50. If we were at 50-50 bad interactions with cops, we'll fucking be Mad Max. That's what it would be like. But it's not. We have 97% of the time, it's a good interaction people have with civilians. Civilians and cops have a 97%. All right, you get your ticket, you go your way, or we book you, and that's it. We're talking about the 3%, and we're fucking blowing it up. Now, do the police need better training? Yes. I think we're all in lockstep that the police needs a better training. Do the police?
We are. I don't think that's the consensus of the police departments. And I think that the messaging of defund the police is not helping either, because that doesn't sound like a good idea either.
What?
It's got to be reform. Don't say defund
Oh
the
yeah,
police.
yeah, yeah. Reform the police.
Yeah, I was just saying, like people believe like that's kind of a better outlook. I mean, I'm not listen. I'm not going to disagree with you and act like I'm a complete moron and not saying that the media personifies and sensationalizes these stories. I just every time I see it, I just think it's aggressive. I think it's aggressive when you have 40 cops and the guy's coming at you with a car. Now, granted, in that situation, that car becomes a gun because you're trying to take police lives. So okay, yeah, let's maim them. Let's shoot the tires out. Like at least let's try to apprehend them. There's many other stories, bro. The dude in Colorado got apprehended. The dude in Atlanta got apprehended. Right. I just want to see more apprehensions. And I get it. We're talking about a small slim of the situations, but it just seems that the police do not want to kind of tussle with minorities, and they're quick to shoot minorities in that 3% equation.
But they're still shooting. But they're still shooting white people more. So that argument it loses its basis.
First of all, I don't. To me, let's change that part. Poor people, fuck white or black.
Well, because there's still more poor white people than black people anyway.
That's why I said poor people. Poor people are getting in that 3% not handled properly.
I agree,
it should be handled properly. And this is always a big discussion for us because we always, I'm not going to say have different viewpoints, but have different understandings on how we want our view to be seen. I just definitely think that there should be some reform. There definitely needs to be more training. These guys need to understand that. I mean, the lens of this thing just looks terrible, and it constantly looks terrible. I mean, in the same way you got a guy on trial for killing a person who, at that point, George Floyd didn't do jack shit, right? To bring him into the argument. And in the same week, you shot another dude who's running away from the cops. Now, get it, but
there's another case.
I get it. Some of the things just seem stupid. Like, how do you not know the difference between your gun and your stun gun?
Yeah, right? Again, that's poor police training. But none of that happens if you don't run.
But what I said is Floyd didn't run, and Floyd got executed.
But the thing
he's the one caveat that's driving this narrative.
But even the George Floyd thing, he was saying that he couldn't breathe when he was in the back of the patrol car.
Could be true. That could be true.
Which is fine. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying is like the whole video when it comes out, it's. I'm not absolving Derek Chauvin for what he did. He killed George Floyd, put his neck on his back, but he was like not a healthy person.
I get that too. Well, he had just come from COVID. He might have been having drug use issues.
They have fentanyl in his system, which has been bad in the Midwest.
I get that.
Again, I'm not justifying for what the cop did, but what I'm saying is that we need transparency.
There you go. How about that? Because there isn't any. Because they held this video for like a month.
The reason why they held the George Floyd, the reason why they held this video, the Andre Brown video, which I could understand is first of all, you right now we have a thing where if something is hot, people overreact to it.
Right.
So,
LA,
it gave people at least exactly. So you give people a month to calm down, read all of the facts that come out about the case first, and then you watch the video. So it gives you time to kind of digest what's going on, which I don't think is that bad. Now, at first, optically, it seems bad because it seems like the police are hiding something. When that's what it feels like. But if the cops were mostly transparent. They did it from 4 different camera angles.
But that's not true because the only reason why Floyd potentially got justice was because somebody was recording it.
No, for sure.
That was the body cam that was released.
No, for sure.
Talking about underlining what you're saying, there should be more transparency in these situations because some states don't even have to show you the body cam footage.
True, but those guys are getting crucified by the public if you don't show the body cam. So like eventually, a judge. That's another thing. A judge ordered the body cam footage to be 30 days. It wasn't the police's decision. It was a court-appointed judge who said we're not going to show the public the body cam footage for at least 30 days. So people we thought in the beginning oh shit, it's fucked up. The police
kind of looks fucked up. But go ahead.
But what I'm saying is that we're pointing the blame towards police when if you don't go and read, you would assume it's the police. But it was a judge who he decided, or she. I think it was a he.
It was a dude.
The judge decided that all right, we're gonna wait 30 days, get all the facts of the case, and then we're gonna release the body cam footage to the public. So like when people say like we thought in the beginning when we mentioned it a couple weeks ago was like, oh shit, the cops didn't release the footage, and then we thought that was fishy because the cops didn't release the footage. Then come to find out that the judge ordered it not to be released. But what I'm saying is just that like, all right, all these activists coming out. How about we just fucking sit down, do a fucking big spread, Ti, Killer Mike, put some shit on YouTube, Instagram, Charlemagne, everybody, and say, hey, listen, just get fucking arrested. Why is that so difficult for people to get? Get arrested.
But you also got to take into consideration, and I agree with that statement, and I agree even more so that we should be having a larger discussion, especially with the leaders in these communities. I still hope that they think that they're leaders in these communities, because some of these guys want to pretend like they are, but they're not really involved. I know Killer Mike is in the building. I know Charlemagne is in the building, but there are some others that aren't. With the larger discussion, trying to get more eyeballs on the situation, but overall, the narrative and the needles being moved around, making it look one way when it potentially might not be that way. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully,
what do you mean? In what sense?
I'm saying like when the media gets it, it's like, wow, we're gonna, they don't give you no information, and then we're not having the discussion. And also too, what I wanted to say was, as a human, fight or flight is a real thing, whether you're a good person or not person. I'm not saying that it's okay and it's justified for you to run, but some people get nervous. Fuck, if you have charges on you, you're like, fuck, I gotta bounce. But you might not want to be thinking that in that moment, but fear is a motherfucker. And I would be scared too. If you see, bro, shit, if I seen 20 dudes with assault rifles, I would be frozen solid. That's just me. Most of the motherfuckers probably get like that other flight or fight and they bounce. But I'm just saying, like, again, moving parts. The human brain likes to protect itself. Minorities, because of the media, is making them feel like they're going to get killed. He ended up getting killed. So potentially him running from not trying to get killed ended up him getting killed anyway. So if he was worried about getting killed, it kind of ended up being that situation. So I feel him trying to run. Same thing with the dude. I mean, all these guys kind of, you get nervous, man. You make bad decisions. What I'm saying is, if you get nervous and you make a bad decision, does that justify you being killed in the street? Is my overall argument.
It doesn't justify them being killed in the street. That's why we say that the police need to be trained better. But
I agree with that one.
But the police right now are trained that if somebody's in a vehicle, that vehicle is now a weapon. What happens if the two of those cops that were on his lawn trip and he's fucking speeding away and he runs over the cop? What's the narrative then? Like, we don't. It's all right. The other four cops should have done something to make sure that he doesn't get away and run over the other two cops or run over one of the cops. Like it'll be all right. Well, at least one of the cops died. Now we're even, kind of thing. Like, I'm saying, people will say that.
I got you. I'm not viewing it like that.
But people will view it like that.
I get it. That's not my point. I think that a life is a life, and whatever life it is important. That's the problem. That different lives are being evaluated differently. At the end of the day, I definitely think that there has to be a larger discussion, and maybe it's not the community leaders. Maybe it needs to be police chiefs. We need to train these guys differently.
Yes, and then again, like we spoke about last week or the week before, people need to understand how to get arrested, especially I'm telling you, these guys, the cops are not going killing people who don't have nothing. They're killing people by accident if they do, which is a very tiny percentage. There's somebody who has something that they've done that's illegal. And it's not justifying them being killed or being shot. But what I'm saying is that these guys are having bad interactions with the police officers because it's something that they did wrong that the cops have to try to rectify. You have an arrest warrant for a reason. It's not for nothing. Like, when I know if my license was suspended, I was going to get a warrant for my arrest if my license was suspended. Guess what I had to do? I had to go to DMV and I had to pay whatever fees I had to pay to make sure that didn't happen. But it's something that was going on. Again, they didn't really release much from what I was reading. It just said that it was a drug-related and a search warrant. So it was two things. It was two separate warrants that they were going for him. And they said there's no gun in the car, which is perfect, which is great. But you need to get. We need to get into this mode of all right. If the police come, hands on the dashboard, hands at the window, whatever. Just fucking get arrested.
But look, and I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. A few weeks back, we just had a dude in a military outfit put his fucking hands on the dash, and they still were wilding out in that 3 percentile that we're talking about. Pepper spraying homeboy under his hand, under his eyes. So this was a guy that didn't have any bad fucking shit.
But that's another guy. Him too. They told him get out the car. He refused to get out of the car.
But let me tell you something. That's a problem. And from a man, Uncle Salter, we talk about this all the time. Just because I'm not 100% compliant to you doesn't allow you to fucking treat me like a piece of shit.
Agreed.
And that's a problem. They want 100% compliancy, or we're gonna fucking kill you, or pepper spray you, or treat you like shit, or whatever. Imagine if that dude reached into his vest. They would have light that car up.
Probably.
And that's what I'm saying. Look, this is obviously a bigger conversation. We got a lot of topics to cover. I wanted to talk to you about it because I know you see things differently. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying that we really, I don't even know what to do as a civilian and how to move this. The only thing I could try to do
is easy. The fucking cop says, get out the car. Guess what you do? You get out the car. The cop says, put your hands behind your back. You put your hands behind your back.
That's not enough.
That is enough because people are not getting shot and killed that way. There's no people who are complying getting shot and killed.
You're telling me that if I don't feel that the arrest or the pullover is justified, I just got to get arrested. I can't tell you. Because that guy that got pepper sprayed, he asked for the commanding officer. So what are my rights? So I only got 6 rights with the Miranda rights. Okay, the right to remain silent, or the right to an attorney. I can't even believe there's a right for not having an attorney will be provided for you. I think that's 4.
But all right, so it's very simple. If you're getting pulled over, you say, why am I getting pulled over? They give you some bullshit excuse. You say, let me get your commanding officer. The commanding officer comes. The commanding officer asks you to get out the vehicle. You still refuse. But I'm saying the people still refuse to get out of the car, period. Now, what I'm trying to say is even, let's say, if a stop is unjustified, you just go through the fucking motions.
I get what you're saying.
And then you can sue.
I get it. I get all of that.
So what, like,
that you don't have no rights basically when they roll up on you. All that shit is gone.
Not really, but what I'm saying is like, but okay, so
if you don't comply.
But if you comply, right, and they fuck up, you getting paid.
But that's not always the truth because they got the blue, the blue wall of protection.
But a lot of these guys, are wearing body cam footage. That's why we're getting so much more body cam footage.
I get that.
You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of people too are recording cops coming to their window anyway. So people are being even more on top of that as well.
At this point, you should turn on the camera.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, everybody has cell phones. Most police officers have fucking the GoPro shits on their chest, the cameras. Just get fucking thing. If it's a wrongful arrest, guess what? That person could get written up in a way it's looking like that some cops are getting held accountable, and you get paid, and it hurts the city. The city doesn't want to pay money out, and now they're saying that you could sue the cop directly.
Right. Because I don't even understand. Check this out, just to twist it up, and we'll bounce out on this. As a former bartender, if someone drinks at my spot and I overserve them, the family can sue me if he dies. Why is that not the same situation for these guys?
Well, right? The police are in a union.
Right, and that's the problem. We need to start looking at all of this. Anyway, speaking about body cam, I know I like getting you hot. We'll see how sweaty we get. I had to turn on the AC to fucking talk to you up in this motherfucker. So, did you see the 60-minute thing?
About what?
UFOs.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna get a little crazy, guys. We went from police brutality, but this is official. This is not tinfoil hat shit anymore.
I think it's here's my tinfoil hat theory. Is that they're releasing this footage or releasing things like UFO stuff to distract us from other things.
100% with that statement.
Because like we're at the most crucial time in almost, I would say, in American history where we're like at a boiling point of how divisive the country is right now, and to distract people from weird shit. Yo, there's UFOs, and now you're not looking at
That's exactly what I thought about. What kind of shenanigans are you guys running here? You guys want to release it now?
Exactly.
That tape was recorded in 2004. Where the fuck were you at back then?
Exactly. You have one from 2015. You have a couple from 2017.
Right. I'll take those.
my approach with the whole UFO approach is the same approach that I had. I
With
would
Musk,
say
you
that
with Musk.
Musk, yeah.
But now they got footage, so that should occupy some of your space or some of your bandwidth.
But the thing
It's
is,
like, if you wanted to pretend that it wasn't a distraction, should we be alarming citizens that this is some other shit that we got to deal with now potentially? Because here comes Senator Rubio, and he's like, "This is a problem."
again, I think if we literally have, if we have like, you have Bob Lazar, supposedly he was working on something that had like propulsion similar
Yes,
to what we're talking about. Now, if
yes.
we have that in our custody and in our hands, or in other countries have it, right? If other countries have it, be transparent and show, like, say, listen, we have X, Y, and Z. We've come in contact with X, Y, and Z. But like, it's like when somebody says you believe in ghosts. You know, like,
All right, I agree. I mean, that's what they've made it seem like with the alien thing,
for
right? Like,
sure.
you're a weirdo if you even think that this is real or potentially has legs to stand on.
And there's becoming more and more people coming out, saying stories. Oh, with what Homeboy said, like, why isn't it like a global kind of like a UN thing when it comes, like how UN does something with, like, CDC, WHO? Why isn't there a UFO but all the countries working together kind of thing to to really see if there is UFOs, or if there really is UFOs, how to combat it, how to use it to our advantage. Who knows if we were already using it to our advantage? You know, if any of them crashed, their their thing, crash into a fucking hole somewhere, or into a building, or if somebody was really abducted and they, there's a weird ass mark on their forearm or in their face or wherever the case may be, show it to us. I'm on that camp. Just show me, and I'm with you. And
that was the thing too, bro. I think that we're delusional to think that we're ever going to get full transparency,
true,
and that's a problem. And I even think that I blame this current administration for that because Kamala Harris came on her particular platform talking about how the last administration wasn't transparent. And right now, we don't have transparency from this organization. That we're never going to get the transparency. And to tie both stories in together, we're talking about, I was just mentioning about Kamala Harris not being transparent, the past administration not being transparent, the police department being transparent. Why the fuck do we think that the fucking Pentagon or anybody that's running some shit on some, bro, 13,000 miles an hour? That sounds crazy. Fucking dropping 1,000 miles, going into the water, jumping back up. It should have been popping off, let's say, since, who knows? I mean, all of a sudden, I'm sure the dudes that were wearing the tinfoil hats, talking all that shit at Roswell, are feeling good about themselves. All the doomsday preppers, all these people that have been talking shit for like 20, 40 years that have been alienated, you like the pun there, or for dealing with this and thinking about all this shit. It's like all this stuff is now coming to fruition. And it's strange. And like I said, I think that it's a little bit divisive in the sense that, like you were saying, it's like there's all this civil unrest. Let's give these motherfuckers something else to chew on. But I don't even think that the average Joe's really biting on it, because I think that we're already trained, like he was saying. And I think Elon Musk, and I didn't even get into this because it's crazy. I don't even know what he's up to lately. But him saying that, makes everybody, if the smartest guy says I haven't seen it, then why should I even bother? I mean, at this point, he just jumped out of fucking crypto. So I don't know if what he's saying is even true, because I think what he just pulled with that whole crypto swag was, I don't know, it kind of made me think about his credibility a little bit. I don't know if Elon Musk is somebody that I need to be like thinking about how he thinks about things so that I can think about how I think about things. I just think that it's alarming that all this footage is coming out. There's tons of documents now. A lot of the shit that was supposedly redacted is now being released to the public, and I just don't know if it's a cause for pause, because this is strange shit.
I think if they just show, like, we get our hands on one of them and we get like a close, clear footage of a ship or of a different kind of looking being, then I'm on board. Like, we'll keep moving. We try to solve another problem in the world that we have, that we could try to figure out. But I don't know. Like, you gotta, like, even Neil deGrasse Tyson, he went to the approach of like, all right, nobody knows what gravity is. Everybody knows what gravity does, but nobody knows what gravity is. So don't waste your time on what is gravity. You already know what it can do because it is people are trying to figure it out, but it's going to take up time and bandwidth. Like Elon's taking the right approach, and I kind of think this approach that I take is
fair. I'll fuck with Tyson's point of view. Neil deGrasse Tyson is a really smart guy. So, I mean, I guess if it's not something that we need to waste our time on, then maybe it's not something we need to waste our time on.
I think like
it's strange the timing.
But I think like you have Elon Musk who's literally launching satellites every day, spaceships every day. He works with NASA all the fucking time, and he from his thing hasn't seen any evidence of UFOs.
I know, but how much you think that does propaganda? I mean, I get it. He doesn't have to say that he's seen it or say that he did see it. But if he did say, they would go bananas.
But if he did say it, it would hold credibility because he's doing so many things with space. Like he's literally doing space shit all the time. You don't
maybe
think
they're not in space anymore.
Maybe.
Right? Maybe they're not coming from space. Right?
Maybe.
The whole thing is that they're next to water every single shot.
Yeah, it could be from under the water.
Right. They're however they are here or came or whatever or laid low, they're here. They're not even coming from outer space anymore. So maybe that's not even a thing because his whole NASA project is fairly new. Right?
I'm saying he said years of it. He's maybe 4 or 5 years in. Like
that's what I'm saying. They could have been here for fucking 20 years. I mean, who knows how long they've been here for? You know, I'm saying like to play, a devil's advocate on that argument. Like they might not even be coming from space anymore.
For sure. But I'm saying you got people who are saying that they seen them come from space or seen things in the sky.
Right, sky. That's different. Space is fucking far. Right? Because if they're in our orbit, that could seem like fucking space to people, but space is literally leaving orbit, and that's where his lens is. His lens is like looking to the stars.
But what I'm saying is he has so many satellites looking down. You have so many Google satellites looking down. You have so many other company satellites looking down, constantly taking images of the Earth. Like, you gonna tell me not one of those satellites caught an image?
Right, so nobody caught any images, let's say, on those satellites, right?
Uh-huh.
But these guys seen it up close. So that doesn't even make any sense too. Right? So not even include the government on this. So not one motherfucking satellite caught it, but fighter pilots seen it.
So that's the thing. It's weird.
That's even strange too.
Exactly.
It's a strange thing.
So because you're gonna tell me, $100 million satellite that takes crystal clear imaging, just like of our iPhones or Samsung phones, takes pictures of the fucking Earth. You gonna tell me they can't take pictures of anything that looks suspicious? I'm pretty sure those satellites all the time are catching airplanes. You gonna tell me they don't catch airplanes all the time?
Everything.
So that's what I'm saying. So again, just show me and I'm on board. I'm down. We will go talk to the homeboys. Yo, what's up? What you doing here? Oh, you could do this? We could do this now? We can teleport? Scotty, beat me up type shit? All right, we out. Let's try to work together.
Okay, so before we bounce out of this and then go to one of our favorite segments, and I'm gonna plug in my Wi-Fi because my shit is acting. But I think it's interesting that we haven't seen them from up top. They're only coming from the bottom. The timing on this is super strange. Plus, you already know a little bit about the propulsion. So again, if they're here, why haven't you guys started talking to us? Forget about if they're here or not. What have you learned from them? Why are you not sharing if you've made not even advancements, if you've been able to at least duplicate what they've done? Because, I don't know if you've seen this 60-minute piece. I've seen parts of it, read some of it. And they were saying, like, it had no propulsion. It had no wings. Like, obviously, it was something strange. It wasn't a normal thing. If these guys already have this and they were able to duplicate it, it just makes you really nervous about, what some of the governments are up to. Or not some, what the fucking United States is up to. Because they be doing some stuff and they don't always be so clear with us.
And they're all in cahoots, I feel like. They're all in cahoots. Because you got to, what is it? Before, we had to go to Russia in order to go to space. Like, for whatever reason. I guess the way, how they're positioned, they're, I guess higher than us. But it's crazy. It's crazy. I just think you just come out and you tell us, yo, look at this UFO. Look, what if they look just like us? Well, what if we really are the aliens? What if
the interstellar shit? It's us in the future coming back to warn us about us ruining the planet. That's why I think that interstellar shit is a trip. And also, too, it's weird that all of these, doomsday movies have been coming true. It's like, You know, I asked this to a lot of people: is it art imitating life, or is it life imitating art? Which is a strange thing, right? We're making all these watches that talk and all this stuff, but we would have never thought about it if it wasn't for the movies. So was it the movies that started to make us think about making these technologies, whether it was FaceTime or going to outer space or any of these other things?
Or
Because
some dimension of
right,
what you go
that too,
into when you get high, with
right,
mushrooms or
that
smoking
too,
weed,
right.
or doing ayahuasca. You have all these like things
Seeing
that,
food like your
yeah,
boy over here.
that say if you want it unlocks something in your brain that it has you connect with something, you know.
Yeah,
So
no, it's crazy, man.
I'm just in that camp. That's why I'm in the camp of
Show me.
show me, because even like in like
Show me,
against
fucker.
I get into these little arguments or like little back and forth tits for tats with people who believe in God. I say I can't say that God doesn't exist, but
Right,
you can't tell me God exists.
right,
So we in this limbo with this back and forth thing.
right.
I could say I think religion is bullshit
That's a fact.
by thousands of miles, but I can't say and be like, yo, God's not real,
Right.
because nobody knows. But when you go and say, yo, yes, God is real because of the Bible, I can't talk to you. I can't. You're not. We can't have a. It's not an intelligent conversation that's going to move forward.
Yeah, the Bible thing is a little bit of a trip for me when people try to use that as justification because I'm like, bro, this thing is it contradicts itself.
Yep.
It doesn't even work together. It really doesn't work. Two different books. All right, thank you guys again for hanging with us and belling with us on this new endeavor of going this Instagram live shit. I'm glad you guys are here. We're trying to get more eyeballs to the show and stuff like that. But this is a segment that we absolutely love to do. It's called News or No News, where I kind of ask Hollow and he kind of goes back and forth with me on whether we think these news stories should be getting air or not. So this is a weird one because I put this in here. So I don't even know how to classify this as news or no news, right? But so I wanted to ask you your opinion. We'll go with an opinion, and then based on your opinion, we'll say if it's news or no news. So Prince Henry keeps talking mad shit about the royal family, right?
Okay.
If he's talking so much shit, shouldn't he just let the name go?
Yes.
Right? Because you can't be running with the title like that. Oh, it's Prince Henry. Prince Henry. I don't understand it. Do you like them or you don't like them?
He just likes what comes with the name.
Exactly. So no news, motherfucker. Take your shit off that shit and get over it. Did you see what else they're doing? Now I'm not mad at entrepreneurs or business people. They're selling $40 t-shirts. Like, you guys are broke. Like, what? I don't understand. I'm just confused.
Always making more money is always good.
I get that. Well, first of all, you're a fucking sick capitalist, so I get that about you. But
free market, baby.
First of all, it's not a free market, but okay, we'll run with it. I just think like now he has another Oprah series. It's like, damn, bro, are you just gonna get paid for gushing on the whole squad?
Fuck
now
it.
You're gonna have to have like your little babies, if they're royalty, sign NDAs, and not compete, so they just don't air out the laundry. Because to me, I think it's fucked up that if you're just doing it to get money, like if you feel violated, all right. But now if you're just kind of like playing games with it, I don't know how serious it really is.
I think.
Go ahead before we move on.
I think it's no news. I think it's just your nonsense. Whatever. I don't give a shit what happens in another country. But if he feels like he's been cast out, or if he feels like he was being taken advantage of, or if the woman that he loves was being disrespected, then I guess all hands go. Especially when they got the conspiracy.
Let go of the title then.
Oh, for sure.
You should really feel, if you feel that violated, I'd be like, you know how we do. When you get in an argument with somebody, you're like, here, take the fucking crib, take everything. I'm out. Fuck you. I'm me. I don't need all this other shit. If you're that dope, that's the thing. How dope is Prince Henry without the prince?
True. But he probably has some regular dude that works at Walmart.
Facts. All right, moving on. So it's going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. I didn't put this in any particular order. It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's scary. But the Washington football team, let's go of Ryan Kerrigan, and now he is a Philadelphia Eagle. News or no news?
No news. If he was at least closer to his prime, it would make some type of noise. These guys are leaving 10 years, 11 years already, treads off the tires. Unless you got a Terrell Suggs kind of dude who kind of revitalized, where he could come back and do something. But most of these guys, when they leave, they don't really do anything at wherever else they go. So we'll see. So to me, it's just no news. And fuck both the teams.
I know. I say news only because actually I say news twice. I say news because Washington had a great defense.
Mm-hmm.
This might be another guy that you're not going to be able to roll, in and out of specific, third and short, third and long plays where you could have an extra sacker or someone that's going to be, rushing the quarterback. I say it's news for Philly trying to make a splash, but they ain't got nobody else on their team, so I don't know what signing. And then again,
Exactly.
it brings it back to the JJ Watt shit. Like, Kerrigan, why are you going to Philly? Do you want to win a chip? Call New England up. Call Tom up. Be like, yo, Tom, I'll come over there for the league minimum, right? Or call the Steelers up. Be like, yo, I'll play for $1 million. Let's try to go chase this thing.
Unless his agent is putting feelers out, and they were like, "Yo, we'll give the minimum," and the Eagles like, "We'll give you $2 million." Because I get it. Those guys at the end of their career, he's a good player, but he's not a Hall of Fame player. But you're gonna take the money towards the end of your career. Like somebody like JJ Watt is the one who shouldn't have taken the money. He should have went somewhere and got a chance to win a Super Bowl. Going to the Cardinals, that was a wrong step. But no news with Kirby.
Three-time defensive player of the year. Yeah, you're not. That was a mess up. Okay, this is another one. This is a shot that hits home for us. Stanton is injured again. News or no news?
News. I don't know if the Yankees got to fire their staff. I don't know what they got to do. I don't know if they got to talk to the players and say, "Yo, stop working out so hard." I don't know. They got to find better, sleep tanks, deprivation tanks, something. You're always getting hurt. Like, do more soft massages. Talk to Tom Brady and do more fucking bands, workouts, and stop building so much muscle. You're always getting hurt. It's always a calf strain or a quad strain or some type of strain. It's always something. And he was on fire. He came alive in the last about 3 or 4 weeks. He was on fire, and now he's hurt again. And it's fucking annoying to be being a Yankee fan. They always hurt.
I would say definitely news. I don't know what the fuck they need to be doing. I don't understand. With all of the technology, you got guys like James Harrison who spends about $300,000 annually on taking care of his body. You got Tom Brady who's revolutionized the position in playing for so long.
LeBron.
All these guys. Where's the sports science? Where you guys at? Uplifting, bro. Obviously, baseball, it doesn't work like that. You can't be the most yoked dude in the field trying to hit bombs. Same thing with Judge. A lot of these guys, all the Yankees are always dinged up.
And it could be
was dinged up too. Like, what the fuck?
It could be that they're only hitting home run shit. Putting so much torque on your body and your muscles and on your legs and just getting jacked to only hit home runs, and every time you swing is a home run swing. It could be that they're getting them hurt.
I got to give a lot of props, and I don't know if it was juice or no juice, but the fact that Alex Rodriguez stood healthy for most of his career is insane.
Yeah, well, he had juice too, but
that's what I'm saying. Whether it was juice or not, right?
Well, the juice makes your body recover faster.
Okay, there you go.
That's why I'm pro juice.
I'm pro juice too, but everybody's all fucking full of shit. I think put the best product out there, and I'm a juice guy in the sense of it makes you recover. These guys are playing. I think also too, this is another thing for the MLB to look at. 160 might be too much. You got guys who can't even complete the season anymore. So I don't know. I definitely think it's news. Something's got to go on with the Yankees, and it sucks. I hope Aaron Boone is not going to be the guy that they hatchet for this situation, because if they don't make the playoffs, that's going to stink, because they were on fire, and now it looks like things are souring. Yep. All right. News or no news, the Dodgers signed Pujols.
I think it's news. I think he's going to be in a good position. They're not asking him to come over there and be the second guy to Mike Trout, which the Mike Trout just got hurt. He's out for 8 weeks himself with a calf strain.
Another motherfucker strain.
Yep.
All these strain.
So his news in the sense of he has championship pedigree. His first hit was already an RBI single. He's gonna be
hit by a pitch yesterday. That was another RBI single.
It's gonna be he's gonna these young guys in the locker room saying, "Yo, listen, I can help you with your approach to your swinging. I'm one of the best hitters that this league's ever seen."
Like coach, right?
Yeah. So you have a guy. He's gonna do something. I think he's gonna probably get that one home run or that one double in the postseason that you need. You're gonna have somebody who's been there, not nervous. The spotlight isn't too bright, and he'll be ready.
I think that was I say total news. I think this was the best thing that the Dodgers did. I wish that the Yankees, if they had more stability and more things going on with them, I mean, they got one of the best closers. I'm talking about the Yankees, one of the best starters, some of the best players. If you had a guy like that, maybe teaching them also, like, yo, you shouldn't be working this hard. This is the way you should swing. You know what I mean? If you're trying to hit that right porch, maybe you uppercut it more, move more of your hips and less of your legs or less of this. I think he's going to be helping out everybody over there. And I tell you, man, the Dodgers, if they could get their act together, they're dangerous, bro. They're
Yep.
filthy. Like yesterday, I was watching them, bro. I mean, I know it was against the Diamondbacks, bro. This team could score 6 runs, 7 runs in an inning. That's dangerous. That's a
Yep.
problem. And I don't know, because I know we still haven't had our game. I'll probably try to buy it this week so we could play MLB The Show. In my personal opinion, bro, lefty hitters dominate in the league, bro. And the Dodgers have more lefty hitters than you could fucking imagine, and
Hmm.
and it's difficult for right-handed starting pitching, even when they get out of it, or even when they're deep in the pitching, to stay up with that. So I definitely think it's news. All right, news or no news? The LAPD is investigating Ti and his missus for allegations of sexual assault and drugging.
I'm gonna say no news in the sense of I gotta see where these plaintiffs are coming from. You know, like
So look, I'll give a little bit more thing because I knew you were going to say that. So one of the girls, again a Jane Doe, comes in and basically says that she was at a party or a club, something to that effect. Hangs out with these two. They go up to their hotel room. It was Ti, his missus, 2 other women, and herself. Then the other girls bounce out. Then like they tell, I guess Ti and his girl go into the shower. They tell her to come. I don't know if she goes or she does go, and then they start performing sexual acts on her. They force her to massage, or not force her, suggest her to massage Ti. And then she says she goes to the bathroom and throw up and doesn't remember anything else. And then her thing at the end saying, like, her vagina hurt and it was itchy. So I don't know if that means that she had gotten a venereal disease from these dudes or this group or whatever. But that was kind of like the context of one of the girls. I think that there's a couple of other people basically saying, like, they hang out with Ti and the missus, blackout, and shit happens.
it's more, if it's more than one, it's like if it's some Bill Cosby shit where you have 50, 60 women coming out. Yeah, but I just say no news, but I say they should investigate to find out to see what's going on there.
I say news only because, well, not only because, but one of the main reasons is that you were just talking about it earlier when you talk about community leaders. Ti tries to be one of those guys. I think that if he goes down, that's another L in the department of people trying to, defend the black and brown. So I think that that's an issue, and this thing just keeps happening. Marilyn Manson just is in some trouble. A bunch of other guys are in trouble. Like, it just seems to be like, now that people are starting to feel, or women are starting to feel more comfortable about this, they're coming out more and putting people on blast. So it's crazy. I don't know, how this is gonna weigh itself out, but I say news. All right. Bill Gates reportedly had a thing for asking female employees out on dates while he was married. News or no news?
That's no news. Again, we've spoken about this before. A lot of these super rich fucking people, they fuck around. When you have billions and even millions and millions and millions of dollars always constantly coming in, like there's so much you could do. There's so much role playing you could do with your wife. When you have that amount of money, had sex almost probably all around the world, every fucking beautiful hotel, every plane you could probably think about, fucking every room in your mansion. Like, there's so much that you can do. So I think it's no news. All these guys are always probably asking or seeing what's up.
Okay, I say news only because now it looks like everybody's been hating on Bill for a long time. So now this is making him kind of look like more of a douchebag. And I'm sure the tinfoil people that hate Bill Gates are like, see, I told you, he's a womanizer. So that definitely means he's a horrible human being. So, all right.
Before we move on, hold on. Before we move on, there's some men who just need to fuck to concentrate. There's some men who like, I need to fuck, then I'm gonna go and it makes me a greater person. Like, it clears my mind, my clarity of my mind. So sometimes you're like, oh shit, I'm fucking struggling, I'm foggy, I don't know what, I'm disoriented. All right, go fuck, and then all right, cool. I need to do X, Y, and Z because I was horny. Horny's out of my system now, and now I can go code some shit and fix the world. And look at like, it happened with Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was smashing 60 bitches, dominating golf. It was just something that he needed to do to be great. Who knows? Is this something that Bill Gates needed to do to be great? You know, and help people and save people. Asking somebody out on a date, and I get it, he's married. I don't see anything wrong with that, but that's just me.
I know that's a whole dangerous and slippery slope that I'm probably not gonna follow you down because you're the gangster G in NYC fucking with that shit. I gotta stay woke over here, even though it looks like I'm Chinese eyes because these fucking lights are so goddamn bright. But I sympathize a little bit with the discussion for whatever reason with champs, like. If they're at a certain level, like their lifestyle has to be at like another level. Fucking rock stars. Tiger Woods, basically, once they fucking bagged him, he never played the same again, right? You know, so there's something about like that bravado or mystique, I guess, that you need to have like off the field. And feminine woke, you know, culture is gonna hate all that shit, but for whatever reason, for dudes it works. You know, Michael Jordan, I would say, is another dude on that, and maybe not just having sex with other women. Maybe it was gambling, right? Like some of these guys, like everybody's program, right? Like laying in streets and getting cars past you, or like once you get to a certain thing, like your juices just don't go the same way anymore. So it's definitely a man issue. I don't even know if it's considered mansplaining, but we'll probably get roasted for this. So
fuck him.
All right, this was a new one, and I should have sent you the fucking article on this, but you can read it up and see what you think. So Florida, and I'm gonna pull it up so we can look at this further. This should have been in our opening monologue, but Florida's gonna start like a whole new law for social deplatforming, which is basically gonna make social media companies not allowed to deplatform people.
Fantastic news, super news. It's great.
Your comedy. The only thing that I didn't like about it was that you had to be so. This specific thing is pretty much being geared to politicians to start with.
Good.
Like basically, if they're you can't take a politician off of social now. And then it was expanding to like people, like even a person could have, but they were like evaluating by net worth.
That's
like
kind of fucked up.
Right, that's what I thought was fucking shitty about the thing. So you have to have a certain
nobody cares. Nobody cares about what poor people got to say anyway.
Right.
So if having a specific, bracket to enter to stay in the conversation, it makes sense only in the sense of it. You can get if you're making money, let's say off YouTube, and that's your livelihood, and you haven't diversified, and that's your only stream of income. And the fact that YouTube has the power to go and shut you off or demonetize your videos for something that they don't agree with because they are the judge, jury, and executioner, it's kind of fucked up. Because
go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
Because you got some people who are watching nobody's watching 1 million plus video of one video just for shits and giggles. People are going and searching out that content to watch that person speak and see what they have to say. So like you'll see like, all right, it's 45,000 likes and like 1,000 dislikes. So those 1,000 people could go fuck themselves. Like you're putting yourself for your audience who you're putting yourself to talk to anyway. You want to talk to those people who are there to listen to what you have to say anyway. The people who don't like you and don't want you to say anything and don't want you to join in conversations, fuck them anyway because they're just assholes because their life sucks and they're just looking for something to bring somebody else down. So I think this is great. He's gonna be the next president. He got my vote already.
Whoever the guy,
the governor, Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, no. I don't know if it was him because we know you got Mark Rubio down there too. But I think this is interesting. I'll be honest with you. I think whether it's a law, it shouldn't be a company forcing you. Like I was just gonna say, did you see what happened to the Jets' mom? The starting quarterback for the Jets, Zach Wilson.
No, what happened?
She said something about Disney. I think it was negative, but like she had a huge backlash from that. And it's like, it's her fucking opinion. Who gives a fuck if she doesn't like Disney? And so now she makes her whole account private. So it's like, damn, that sucks that, if you have an opinion that's not what everybody else is saying, you're going to be fearful for saying shit. I mean, that's, in my opinion, that's why I keep all my shit to myself. I'm here to just do entertainment. I'm not here to get way out of my motherfucking lane because somebody wants to say something that I said. I mean, did you see this new shit with Joe Rogan? I was going to put it in. about him saying that the woke is coming after straight white men, right? Like
Mhm.
the woke right now is coming fucking after everybody. So I don't know
Yeah.
if that was him trying to argue his perspective, but at the end of the day, like this is an issue, and I mean, I believe that Trump should have been deplatformed because he did kind of. I shouldn't say kind of. I believe he did incite a riot, and so by those terms, yes. But I think that if you disagree with a company, you shouldn't be totally shut down. Like again, the girl from Mandalorian, she shouldn't have been kicked off for that.
But
She
even Trump,
shouldn't have got fired for that.
the thing is, if you deplatform one person, then it gives
It's
the
to the group.
right
Got it.
to go to the next person and the next
Got it.
person and the next,
That makes sense.
even if no matter what. So let Trump just be an idiot and a buffoon on social media. We as a people have to decipher that.
Right. You're saying that and that's the thing. So now, like, legitimately, freedom of speech is going to be entered into the ring of social media,
It
where
should.
everybody goes, and it's up to you to make a difference, on a judgment call on who's saying good shit and who's not saying good shit.
It's like if somebody, let's say there's somebody who keeps saying racial slurs, right? You don't talk to that person because you don't feel that way.
Right.
Right. So you guess what? I'm not gonna watch that. I don't watch any Nazi or slave shit on, like, I don't go search for it, but you're gonna have people who go and search for that stuff. Like we are in a time where you can go and consume whatever you want in your bubble. So like me, I have finance coming in, and I have sports coming in, and I have gaming coming in, and maybe a little bit of politics coming in. Everything else, I don't give a fuck about. I don't have any new music coming in. I don't have any any movies type shit coming in. Everything is just hearsay from my friends if I speak to somebody. But like, you get to control your ecosystem of what you want coming in. Now, if you don't want to hear Donald Trump, guess what? You don't hit the follow button. You don't hit the notification bell, and you don't watch shit, because the people dictate how famous somebody gets by how much attention and engagement you give that person. So the people who are upset at him, don't listen to him. It's really simple.
Okay. I mean, that's a fair statement. I definitely think that is something to be looked at. I think also too, if you're gonna sell our data, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Right? Like,
definitely. If you're gonna sell our data, you
and
can't then
let me
tell
say
us to be
what I
quiet.
want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're already using me. Bro, I'm doing this course right now on social media stuff. Bro, you got to see how much data Facebook has on us. It's bananas.
Yep.
From buying, I mean, I talked to you about it last week with Robinhood, telling our trades, the
Habits.
hedge funds. The fuck is wrong with y'all?
Yep.
And then we don't want to buy GameStop, and you pull the plug. You're a fucking
Exactly.
all right. So then it's definitely news. This law hasn't been passed, but they're consider passing it. We'll try to follow up in this and watch this further. Okay, so I'm kind of mad at myself right now because I wrote this, and then I could look up the story because I sent it myself. But it's saying that the hackers behind the gas line attacks, they received 90 million in Bitcoin before it shut down. So now it's okay. Since you're waving your head, the company paid them the 90, or someone gave them 90 to go do that?
Well, they paid them off to release the oil.
No, but they paid them. Did they pay them in Bitcoin, or they paid them in cash?
They supposedly paid some in cash, not
Okay.
like cash, but like a
Right,
wire
they-
transfer,
wire transfer,
and
yeah.
then they took more money in Bitcoin because it's hard to, like, it's
track it or
to
find it.
to trace them.
It doesn't make sense because Bitcoin, supposedly everybody's telling me that there's these blockchains that everybody knows what the transaction is. So
But
I'm
but
a terrorist group and you send it to terrorist group. How do I launder Bitcoin money now if there's a transaction there?
the only thing that works with that is that, like, all right, your number, you have your wallet. Your wallet is 1 2 3 4 5 ABC, right? Now you received the 90 million and to ABC 1 2 3. Now ABC 1 2 3 sends it to 4 5 6 4 5 7, whatever. Now that I'm saying that money gets tracked, but you're it's not like your bank, that code says who that code belongs to.
It just says wallet to wallet, basically.
Correct. And
it's
where
not saying John Doe and Jane Doe.
No, exactly. That's why. So like, it again, it has
It
its.
sounds crazy. Then I gotta get my guy back on because that sounds dangerous.
But it has its perks because, like,
get that part.
If you want to get paid and you don't want like somebody to track what you're making money,
but you still have to. You still, according to the dude that I talked to, he said that you still have to like claim that money at the end of the year. You have to claim Bitcoin.
I don't
Yes,
think that's
you do
true.
the taxes. According to him, I'm gonna get it
Certain
back.
states, yes. Certain states, no. But
Okay, so
I don't.
another country, it doesn't matter.
And exactly,
Yeah, right. The motherfuckers was
yeah. So
like,
that's crazy, and that's news because
fucking total news.
people were angry at Joe Biden. And I'm like, listen, any president under that situation, it was two factors. So any president under that situation
Well,
was
he's the one that greenlit the payout.
well. So no, what I'm saying is,
Yeah, why are they mad at him?
they're saying that it's his fault that the gas went up, but it's several factors of it. Is what I'm saying. How and the transparency of shit. So like the factor was, all right, these fucking guys were doing basically some
Like you like to say some fuckboy shit.
fuckboy shit, and then they blamed it on him for that. And then it's also getting hotter outside.
Right. So motherfuckers are going outside. And the CDC just passed new regulations. And the jobs are opening up. And
Exactly.
And right? And
exactly.
The supply, there's more demand.
And
so
then exactly. And then everybody last year was home, so the price was super low because nobody was driving.
Right. So they basically had to give this shit away.
Exactly. So now it's everybody's driving, everybody's in the car, everybody's trying to get back to normalcy. So the price of gas is gonna go up. But they're trying to blame it on him. And I'm like, all right. Fucking idiots.
That's what we're here to try to coach, open the discussion, and educate. I don't understand. All right, our last piece of news or no news. I didn't write it in, but we'll get it in because I'm sure you've been following it. The NFL has met with a few of the Jane Does who have now come out as their name, and the Jane Does came back to Bisbee and said that the NFL really didn't respect their cases or claims. News or no news?
It's news. It's gigantic news because it's basically it's also it's put into perspective. The NFL, when they say that the NFL, it's a woman lawyer from the NFL. It's a woman who's who's investigating them and talking to them. And I guess she went back to the NFL and said, "Yo, listen, these bitches are lying. These fucking stories don't add up." And I guess predetermined. I'm pretty sure. The NFL spoke with Deshaun Watson, got all the facts from Deshaun Watson, then spoke to Shorty, got all the facts from Shorty, and then when they went into and sat down in front of person in meeting, and they started questioning her, and she kept, probably stumbling her words or something wasn't adding up. Shorty was probably dismissive, like, yo, you trying to take down a young black man who is one of the stars of our league.
That's true.
And you're lying. And guess what's going to happen at the end of this, which irks my life. And this needs to become a law, and I hope it does it soon. Women who lie on men, or women who lie on women, or men who lie on men, and vice versa, about this whole rape and assault allegation shit. And when evidence comes out that it's not true, women need to pay a penalty. Or the party accusing somebody of sexual assault needs to pay the penalty. Because now, even if Watson is clear-cut innocent, and all 23 women say, we all lied, there's still going to be a stigma around Deshaun Watson, no matter what. And look, he got suspended from some deals. He lost some deals. He probably had deals down the line that was about to come up. He was going to get traded. A lot of shit was in motion. And everything got fucking to a screeching halt because somebody said something and alleged something towards Deshaun Watson. And it kind of sucks because what if you could do that to anybody? And it's going that way. You have a lot of some of these guys coming out of, you have the kid from Baylor. He was a fucking beast. He was an all-pro. And a girl said she raped him and he had to fight 6 years in court. And 6 years later, she says that she lied. And nothing happened to her. And he lost his whole entire football career. So, and this is the same road that's going on with Deshaun right now. So I'm pretty sure Shorty from the NFL was like, yo, I don't believe none of them. They're all lying. All these stories are inconsistent. And that's probably what happened. That's the same shit what happened with Zeke. When Shorty was Zeke. Shorty's story was 7 different stories. But the NFL still suspended him. And the girl got fired, if I'm not mistaken. The lead investigator. Because it's a new one. So it's gigantic news.
I say it's news too because the fact that it's a female representative of the NFL not buying these stories, I think speaks volumes. I also think that it's also coming to a dangerous halt like you are talking about. I mean, if you were violated, that's one thing. But if you're trying to like make a money grab and you get bagged and there's no repercussions for that, I think that's dangerous. I think that we are now coming into a place where people can make up whatever they want, you know, and I even put this on media companies and also news outlets and also journalists, because I still think too, you know, and I always talk shit about it. I mean, he's very entertaining and maybe that's his space, but Skip Bayless, you just can't be talking shit or talk shit. Like, you have some facts. You got, now everybody just wants the clicks, the likes, you know, and this is really fucked up. You know, shout out to my guy Richard Medhurst, who's actually a journalist and is out there trying to write stories, because it sucks that everybody just wants to get paid now. And that's, you know, to highlight a little bit what you were saying earlier about capitalism and free market. That's kind of why it shies me away from that, because people get delusional and they only care about the money. And I think that that's really starting to sour our culture and sour our relationships within the community, because everybody wants a money grab, you know. And it's crazy that if this is not true, I don't only think that the women should be investigated and looked into. I think the attorney should be facing some charges, and I think the Houston Texans should be facing some charges, whether it's loss of draft picks, whether it's fines against the league, or, you know, for their hand in any involvement in this. Like, I'm surprised that the NFL hasn't launched an internal investigation within the Houston Texans to make sure that this was, you know, not a collusion, because you just handed homeboy a sick ass check. And then who knows what happened, because he said he don't want to play with you no more. You know, and by the way, this is also on Deshaun too a little bit, because you can't sign a check and then be like, I'm out. You should have just hit free agency. And you probably would have got more money, and maybe this thing would have not even happened. Because I feel like you put yourself in the wrong situation. You know what I mean? I'm sorry that O'Brien was a bum. Anybody that comes from New England doesn't automatically mean, from a coaching standpoint, that they're beasts. I mean, not everybody could be, you know, a Flores, but I just think that he put himself in a bad position, because you just can't take $100 million check and then next day it's like what you talk about, take your ball and go home too. It's like, nah, no, I bought that ball. You can go home. But
that's just the issue I have with all those star quarterbacks. Stop bitching about the organizations and start, you know, if you are a great quarterback, this whole I need long-term security is bullshit. Like, Deshaun, you're generational talent. Patrick Mahomes, generational talent. Like, all these guys who
Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger in his prime, all these big fish dudes.
Yeah, you know, like, if you're Ryan Tannehill, you gotta take the check. You know, if you're Nick Foles, you gotta take the check. If you're not a transcendent talent, stop handcuffing yourself to these fucking organizations. You could even, like, when you negotiate your extension, you could say, listen, I want to do this by year, and no franchise tag. Because that's what Dak did. Dak did his new deal, and you can't franchise tag him at the end of the 4 years in his contract.
He's done him out.
Yes, exactly. So you could do that. You got to negotiate that. So start negotiating that.
So exactly. So we're gonna come back around to this, because I wanted to get your point on something else. But that kind of concludes the news or no news segment. We're gonna go into our other segment that we actually really enjoy too, which is around the leagues, and we go MLB, NFL, NBA, sometimes NHL, international football, whatever we think is hot. So let's go right into it, because I didn't put this in, but I know you want to talk about it. So I'm reading articles about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is a whiny baby, because Aaron Rodgers, how much money you want? Because you want to get traded, but now because it's at the the tail end of your contract, you want more money? You haven't won shit. So now you mad because they want to get a quarterback just in case you dip? Like, we have literally given you everything. Don't give me that bullshit. He hasn't had players. He's had one of the best guards in the league for over 5 years. He's had one of the best centers in the league over 5 years. He's had multiple wide receivers, multiple. He's had multiple running backs. He's had multiple defenses. He's played every fucking game at home. At home. What do you want? You get spanked by the Giants. No offense, but the Giants on the road. They were a 9-7 team. You got smacked by Eli Manning, who nobody wants to say that he's a Hall of Famer. Bullshit. He is a Hall of Famer. He beat fucking Aaron Rodgers at home. He beat Tom Brady in an undefeated season. So what are you arguing? So now, what's the problem now, Aaron? What happened now? Fuck it, retire. Go play Jeopardy. Everything for you is like, come on, bro. It's getting annoying now. Now, I'm going to sit out. I'm not going to play. Bro, Talking about guys who make deals. You're not going to tell me you poor Aaron Rodgers. You made almost $100 million in 10 years, bro. Go sit down. Give me the ball, and you go home.
And they should have traded him on the trade on trade day. Like you could have been like
Draft day, you should have traded his ass.
Draft day, you should have went and said, "Yo, San Francisco, I'll give you Aaron Rodgers for the number 3 pick straight up." Or Falcons, what's up? Give me that number 4 pick. We'll give you Aaron Rodgers. You give us Matt Ryan a number 4 pick. We'll give you Aaron Rodgers. You know, like get this guy out of your organization. Like I get it. Supposedly he's this fucking great transcendent talent, but he's not winning Super Bowls. He's not. He's not even getting there. He's not even doing the LeBron. He's not even getting there to lose. He's just not even in the NFC title games. He's like 1-5. He's 1-4. And then that one game he won, he beat Caleb Haney or some shit like that, the backup of Jake Cutler.
Yeah, a bum.
So like it's not like you had this miraculous shit where all right, cool, you throw 4 touchdowns and 3 picks, but you're not winning. You're not winning the big game. You're not getting to the big game, you know. And it's not worth the headache. It's not worth the headache of you complaining and bitching and saying you want more money. And I think we gotta do this next week. Quarterbacks get paid.
I'll put it together.
About quarterbacks getting paid the highest salary don't win Super Bowls in that year. So you saying you want to get more money? Okay, cool. Now you're gonna hamstring your team. You're not gonna have a great top 10 defense or top 5 defense because you want to get more money. Like if he was smart, he could have went to the fucking Rams. The Rams had the number 1 defense last year. Now you match Aaron Rodgers with the number 1 defense, and if he loses, you can't say nothing no more. It'll just be all on you.
He's had Donald Driver. He had what's that other name of that guy that's on the NFL Network who's a monster wide receiver?
Yeah,
he had
Greg Jennings.
Yeah, come on, bro. He had Nelson. Now he has Devontae Adams. Like, how much more shit you want? Fucking, I just named you 4 guys in 10 years. I can't even believe I pulled it out of my head. My man had to help me with 1. I can't even barely fucking name any of the Patriot receivers when Tom Brady won, bro. Okay?
Exactly.
Let's stop it. Like, I'm over it. I'm over the transcending player. He's not a transcendent player. He's always hurt. He's hurt a lot. He talks a lot of shit. He comes out on a radio station and says, RELAX, the fan bases. He was a little whiny baby in the draft. He came in as a whiny baby. Even Brett Favre was like, go sit down. I'm not fucking with you, bro. You little whiny baby.
It's true.
I just like, dude, if you want to win, just force the trade and get the fuck out of Dodge. And Green Bay, let them go. Let them go. I'll be honest with you.
Green Bay needs to stop doing that. Green Bay needs to just let him go.
Not only that, look, you have Brett Favre, you had Aaron Rodgers. Brett Favre gave you 1 chip. Aaron Rodgers gave you 1 chip. I would never do that again. To bring up the discussion that we had a couple of weeks ago, bro, with the talent that's coming out of the fucking NFL draft, I would never sign a quarterback long term. I don't care who they are.
And what they could have done too is Texans, yo, here, I'll give you Aaron Rodgers for Deshaun straight up.
Swap them. Get him out of here, both. But the thing is, if I'm the Texans, I'm like, I don't want that motherfucker. He's just like this motherfucker, complaining, whiny baby. I'm like, nah.
Well, at least Deshaun's not complaining. He's been there, and they haven't had
this is the thing that
a
makes
solid roster.
I get that, but what makes me suspect about Deshaun Watson is that why did you take the contract then?
Well, it's hard to when you have $165 million check.
But you know there was problems though.
No, for sure, I agree with you.
The defense was fucking whack. Listen, it came out right away that our guy who was hating on earlier on the show, 3-time defensive champ, he was like, "Fuck this, I'm out. You guys suck." So that's not a new story. So if JJ Watt is bitching about the coaching, bro, I don't know how.
But JJ Watt got paid.
I got that, but what I'm saying is, I've been at jobs when I see motherfuckers acting like this. I'm like, I don't want to stay here. I'm not signing any deals. If the employee's already disgruntled and I just showed up, I'm quitting that same day. I'm not even fucking thinking no qualms about it. Bro, true. I was at a job one time, right? And I'm in the orientation, right? And they go like, this was a job that killed in the top 5 of all jobs. I wasn't disrespectful. I listened to the whole shit. After that, I was out. I didn't come back. Right, but so don't tell me that you're winning like you talked about. Don't tell me you're about the hardware, son. Not about the hardware. You're not about winning. Because if you was about winning, you would have shut the fuck up and go somewhere else instead of taking the money, right?
Or you would restructure your contract. You could have restructured your contract.
That's another story that nobody talks about with Tom. How many times has he got paid a couple times? Yeah. But one day needed more money. He's like, all right, cool. Fuck it. I'm not going to make 25. Push that 25 back for 3 years. Give me 10. I'll take 10 now. Now you have that other 15. Go make moves. And look at what Tom did. The moment that Bill Belichick fucked him on that, he was like, I'm out. I'm out. I gave you 15,000. Maybe some days, maybe he even played for 5 million. We don't know how he restructured. They took $20 million. They didn't get nobody. Fuck you. I'm bouncing.
That's another thing. It was like, all right, Bill Belichick is this wizard supposedly with the cap, but he never showed any money or any play. Like, who did they pay? They didn't. You know, like they didn't pay besides what, Stephon Gilmore, and that wasn't even they didn't even break the bank crazy for him.
Oh,
they broke the bank for Darrell Revis that 1 year, $20 million.
Yeah, that's it though.
But that's it. That's what I'm saying. You can't even remember who they went.
And that was probably on Darrell's fucking agent, where he's like, he ain't playing for nothing else than 20.
Yep.
So fuck you. And for a $20 million fucking cornerback, you got him playing slot receivers. Like no one even talks about that too, because it wasn't like fucking Darrell went to the Patriots and had Darrell to Revis Island in New England.
They won a chip at least, so
they did, and they almost came close to losing it. But they had Brandon Browner, they had other dudes. Like he wasn't even for $20 million. I'm like, bro, for $20 million, you defending all the best players, right? I'm not putting you on the third string fucking wide receiver for $20 million, and that's kind of how they ran that defense that season.
And just Aaron Rodgers gotta stop bitching. That's all.
Yeah, please stop being a whiny baby. God damn. I wish I could get on a real fucking NFL Network type of thing and be like, yo, listen, he's a whiny baby. I don't care. And you know what? Before I even move on, I always side with the players. But you've been paid, bro. You've been paid. You know how many people on the Packers have gotten cut and released because you got all the money? Stop. All right. Speaking about cut and releasing, and getting paid on all this stuff. I don't know if you watch tennis, so this is around the league, so we bring up some other stuff. Serena just won, I guess, a 17-year-old to move up in another match recently in another tournament that they do in tennis. But is she done? She hasn't been winning lately, and that new young lady is just killing it. And I think she already beat Serena. So is Serena's best years behind her?
Probably. She's what, 39 now, 38.
Right. I mean, she's a hell of a player, but she's playing 17-year-old girls from Russia, bro.
And still slapping them.
I get all that, of course, man. She's a monster,
she'll be one of these guys who, or anybody who's the end is near. She's on the back nine, and she won the fucking U.S. Open on pregnant, or the Wimbledon pregnant, whatever I forgot which tournament it was.
It was Wimbledon.
So she's done amazing things. She has an amazing career. She's gonna go down as one of the greatest women tennis players of all time. It's not even close. And it's time to hang up the tennis sneakers. It might be that. Maybe she's trying to squeak out one more, see if she can get one more Grand Slam. But it happens. Father Time's undefeated.
I'm gonna be sad because I love her stuff. I love it. She's a little bit of a whiny baby too sometimes with the refs and stuff, but she's a phenom. One of the best. I don't even put her as female tennis player. She's one of the best tennis players I've ever seen. Amazing, great energy, brought so many eyeballs to the sport. Obviously diversified it in many ways, not only for women but for Black women. I think that's super dope. I think this new young lady, I always say her name wrong. I think it's like Astancia. I don't know.
I think it's Naomi Awoski, Awaska, some shit. I think her first name's Naomi.
There you go. I don't want to disrespect. So Naomi, I think, is a new thing in the building. She's
Osaka, I think it is.
She's killing it. So I'm happy to see that we're gonna get someone else in diversified into the sport. But yeah, it does seem like a little bit of juice is going down. And I was sad when I seen Venus, because Venus was like my favorite female tennis player to watch. But it seems like we're things are changing.
So is baby sister.
Right. Things are changing, and we're getting older, and it sounds crazy. I heard this crazy stat that made me sound super old, that Albert Pujols is the only guy left from like MLB RBI 2003. So
wow.
Right. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So we're definitely getting old, cuz. All right, cool. So check this out. I'm gonna do the music real quick. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da. So I said it last week or 2 weeks ago that newsflash that the Atlanta Falcons still think that Matt Ryan can play football. The news now is they're trying to move Julio. What is going on?
Well, they're trying to move Julio because of salary cap situation, and if they trade him before June 1st, they gotta pay. They have to pay the dead money. If they trade him after June 1st, that $20 million comes off of the salary cap.
But don't you owe Julio?
No, that's what I'm saying.
No. I'm talking about like owe him in jersey sales, owe him in revitalizing the organization, owning him as being the G in the building. Make it like I would pay him and see what this is gonna look like. Calvin Ridley, Pets, Julio, and they got Davis from the Panthers, who's a monster. Have you seen the size of this dude?
I think you have to try to plan for the future.
I get that.
If you could get if you get 2 first-round picks for him, that's something.
I would have just loved to see as a fantasy junkie. I would have.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think if he does stay, just Matt Ryan's the guy to have.
100%. I agree.
So if he stays,
yeah,
but they don't know what they're gonna do yet.
I think if he doesn't stay, Matt Ryan, especially because Matt Ryan's going to give you like ridiculous value in like the 18th round, that he's a good quarterback to sneak and take because, like you said last week, there's no defense at Atlanta. So
there's going to be a lot of shootouts.
Yeah, they're going to be fucking slinging the rock. All right, let me see. Okay, did you see the play with Manny Machado sliding into the homeboy 20 feet from second base?
Yeah.
Clean or not clean?
And the unwritten rules of baseball, not clean, but it's about being competitive. It's about
getting the hustle. Does the hustle get you fired up?
Yeah, bring some excitement to baseball. Like, I don't know if you saw this last night. The pitcher against the White Sox, he threw behind the guy and they threw the pitcher out. Like,
whoa, what? I was watching baseball last night. How did I miss this? What happened?
It was I forgot, the White Sox versus somebody. It was the Yasmiro. I forgot the guy's name. And he hit a grand slam the night before.
Okay, that kid. Okay, I know him. I've seen that game. That game was filled. First of all, by the way, kudos to the White Sox. That team is
they're balling right now.
Jesus Christ. So what happens? So the dude that hits the grand slam the night before. Now we go a day forward, and then
I think the base was loaded again. And he was a 3-0 pitch or 2-0 pitch, and he threw behind them.
The pitcher did.
The pitcher threw the ball behind them,
and so that was a walk for the run.
And then then the umpire came out and threw the pitcher out the game. And I'm like,
this is the thing I don't understand. Tony La Russa comes out and he's talking shit about guys who are hitting 0-3. Are we trying to make baseball boring? Like, I feel like we're going out of our fucking way to make it boring. Who cares about these unspoken rules? Those shit was fucking done when Sunday Koufax was playing and Babe Ruth. Are you trying to stick with the 55-year-old fan base, or are you trying to get the millennials to watch? Because the guys that want to see fucking Manny Machado run into dudes and fucking, Tatis bat flip are us.
Yeah.
And we're kind of old. Don't you want to get younger dudes in the building?
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't know why they don't want to get away from these stupid, unspoken, dumbass rules. I think is the most dumbest part of baseball. I think the batters need to start retaliating. I think, they throw a pitch and then throw the bat at the pitcher. Say, my bad. It was a mistake. Like, look at Pilar.
Listen, I was just going to say, I think that shit needs to stop. Look at what happened to Homeboy's face. Now, my baby boo, right, who gets hit in the same face, he had barely like a scratch. Homeboy from Philadelphia, that guy's face is just built like a tank, okay? Bryce Harper, but baseball's hurt. Did you see that hit?
Yep.
You gotta stop hitting guys. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? 90 miles an hour. Listen, Bryce Harper's a fucking savage of a man, so maybe his face is built differently. I feel horrible for Pilar, bro. His nose is fucked for life.
Yep, and in the right spot, if the ball hits you like in a temple, or dead or neurological problems, like something can happen.
No, it's not good. It's not good.
So this whole gotta hit you, or even if you hit somebody in the knee, you could fuck up an MCL or ACL or something, or making them jump off the plate, or hitting them in the elbow. You could fuck up an elbow. Like, you can hurt these people with the thing. So that's what I'm saying. Just like, if I was a batter and you throw at me on purpose, my next at bat, I'm throwing a bat at you by mistake, quote unquote. We're gonna end this bullshit where pitchers get to pick and choose when they get to throw the ball at somebody.
I don't understand. The strike zones are fucking ridiculous. The fun is being squeezed out of the game. Pitchers are not even really like. You should be suspended. If you throw a ball for retaliation, suspended.
They need to fix that.
And that's the thing too. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm crowding the plate. How the fuck am I supposed to swing the bat? Now you being a dick and you think like you own the whole diamond? Like, I there's so many philosophical problems in my opinion with baseball overall that it's killing the fucking sport, killing the sport at an alarming rate. And I'm watching it. I just bought the package. I bought it for $64, half price. So I'll take that. But overall, I just don't understand. Now, even though that they're doing things like this, and I think, you know, this is something that you enjoy talking about, Ohtani is unbelievable, bro.
He's the MVP of the season so far.
Right?
To me. It's between him and the kid from the White Sox.
Yeah, that's another motherfucker that's just going bananas. But these are the kind of things that they should be celebrating. Again, why is he not in every poster? Why are we not selling more jerseys of this guy? Why are we not making mad commercials on this guy? Like, what are we doing, MLB?
He's pitching every 5 days and he's killing their batting.
We've never seen that since fucking Babe Ruth, bro.
Yep.
Like, that's unbelievable.
So I don't know.
He's a lefty. Again, back to my lefty argument. The guy's.
I think he throws righty. I think he's a righty pitcher. If I'm not mistaken.
Christ. This guy is loaded.
To me, he's the MVP. It's not even close.
On wax. I'll take it too. I mean, I don't even know. Now the thing is now too, you know, from a batter's perspective, is he not going to be protected? No Trout, no Pujols. I think this is going to be actually a very interesting challenge for him now moving forward, or especially because 10 weeks, homeboy?
About and that's another kid. Like, let's say the Angels go on a tear here without Mike Trout. It's time probably to get homeboy out the building. Go get you.
By the way, I was watching them. They got other players that are good. No one even talks about Rendon. Rendon won a chip with the Nationals. He's a fucking monster. And that guy doesn't do nothing but hit the ball. It just ends up being a single, a double, a home run. Like, he does nothing special. Just hit. And then we'll let the ball do what it does. If I hit it perfectly, it's out the building. If I hit it right, it went through the gap. And, you know, mad kudos him. And like I said, he's 17, lifetime, he's 17-5 as a pitcher, bro. Which is crazy. And granted, the ERA is a little crazy, 3.65, but that's all right. You're 17-5. And you got 13 home runs that lead the league. Like, I can't wait to see what this guy's resume is going to be at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think this year his ERA is 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. 2.4.
Yeah. Wow. And I was going to tell you, I think you said this sentiment also as well. We need to start fucking going into Japan and just start fucking taking everybody out of there. Yep. In a good way. Not, I'm trying to like, diminish your sport. Your shit is fire. Obviously, whatever you guys are doing over there is fucking phenomenal. Like,
all these countries, though,
yes.
All of them.
Yes.
All these guys that are phenomenal, you take them and you bring them to the league. Start them. Stop putting these guys in AA and AAA and then AAA high, and then you bring them in at the end of September in the major leagues. Put these guys in there. Just fucking get them in. If they're batting 700 in the Dominican Republic, they're gonna come to the league and probably bat 300 or 280.
That's the thing too. The guy from the Indians, I was hearing a story about him. No one will give him a shot. The short guy, I think it's Ramirez. Ramirez from the Cleveland. No one's giving him love. Like, look, to me, why would you spend all this money training all these guys if you're not going to give them shots?
Exactly.
Right? I'd be on a rotation every 3 months. Hey, bro, come on up. Switch them up and down. And the same thing for a lot of the Asian players, bro. Why the fuck is Hideki Matsui showing up here when he's 35? Ichiro showing up when he's 35. Fucking, you got a rookie in American baseball. And he's 29.
I agree.
What the fuck are we doing? How long is he gonna play for? This kid was dope in college. He was dope in high school. Bro, I coached Little League for a second. I seen a kid, I know immediately. I said, that kid's going to be a pro. You can see it. You can see mannerisms and swags. Like, you could have 9 guys. Out of the 9 guys, you just know which guy's good. It could be enough to move to the next level.
You shouldn't be having these guys batting. If you have, let's say if you have somebody in your organization in AA or AAA who's batting 350 at a specific position, and then the guy that's in the major leagues is batting 220,
I'm sending that fool down.
Switch.
Yeah.
We gotta do something. You gotta get superstars into the league because you don't know what that player is gonna do when he moves up. What if that guy sustains 300? Now if that guy drops a 180, all right, boom, now you switch it right back. You gotta keep mixing and matching your players. But you have these guys in the minor leagues for 10 years, 8 years. It just makes no fucking sense.
Puig. I think Puig showed up when he was like 40, and that's a joke, but he was a fucking grown man. Like, what were you waiting for to get this dude in the building? He's a fucking phenom. Maybe if we got him in earlier, right, he might know how to hit off-speed stuff at a major league level. But because you got him in there at 39, he's done. All he knows how to do is hit fastballs. You didn't give him an opportunity.
And then another thing with him is that it's kind of the Tatis effect was they didn't want him to show emotion. He was a super passionate kid who was fucking rocking shit. And anytime he hit a home run or talk shit or did something flashy, it was like, oh, he's disrespecting the game and blah blah blah. And we'll talk to him and we'll handle this internally. Like, get the fuck out of here. Let these guys have fun.
I want to piggyback that story really quick. Do you know if it wasn't for Manny Machado and Hosmer, they weren't even going to invite him up? And Hosmer and Manny went to management and said, get that kid in the building right now, or we're not going to be excited to play for this organization. Same thing when I was working up in Irvine. They were letting the Judge. They didn't even want to bring up Judge. They were debating it. Like, no. Let's give the kid 3-month tryout. You know what I mean? Like, I agree with you, and we'll move on real quick, and it'll segue into this thing. We really need to get back to this thing, and I think Colin Cowherd talks about it the best. If you are a genius, it just doesn't apply to books. If this kid is a fucking genius with the fucking mic, you could be a 15-year-old rapper. If this kid is a genius with the basketball, then he doesn't need to go to fucking college to play fucking basketball. Well, just let him play. And then if he sucks, we'll switch him out. Okay, you go to the D League now. Obviously, you can't hang, right? Or we'll put you back in college. We can send you back. Same thing with the major leagues. Why are you signing these kids in high school and they don't get to play until they're fucking like
25, 24?
Bro, imagine if Russell Wilson was a baseball player. We don't even know what that would have been like. He could have been a killer shortstop, right? Or maybe an amazing kind of defensive player, right? He has all the tools. His running around abilities and the way he throws, he would have been an inch. But because they don't do that shit, he was like, fuck this baseball shit. I got to go play football so I can get some fucking love in the goddamn building.
Yep.
And I got to give that to the NFL because we always say that the NFL is one of our favorite places in some senses, not all. In the sense of interesting level, they don't let you wait anymore. Fuck it, we signed him. He plays. Fucking Sam Darnold, you suck 3 years later. Get the fuck out the building. Next. Not okay. You sit behind this guy for 3 years and then we're gonna find out. A la Tyrod Taylor, right? No, can he go now? Then no, bro, you go.
Especially in baseball. In baseball, they got to do that.
Yes.
Like, bring some juice, bring something to the game. You know?
But now, speaking about excitement and juice, okay, J. Cole, is he a basketball player? Because now he makes his professional basketball debut, I believe, in another country. But what's up with this?
I think he was a star in high school, if I'm not mistaken. And he played a little bit of college. It's if when you we're gonna know sooner or later if he's at least decent. Like you got these guys in this league who are trying to make it to the NBA, and they're not gonna give a fuck if J. Cole's in their league and just let him score 40 points a game. They're gonna take pride in making sure he doesn't score. They're gonna take pride in all this stuff, and it brings his notoriety to the team. So I think it's a dope ass approach. He just dropped his album, so there's a lot of PR shit going on at the same time. But if he can hang with these semi-professionals, these semi-pros who are trying to make it to the league and are hungry and fucking probably broke as shit, and they're gonna come at you to make a name for themselves, just be ready for that. And I think it's exciting. It's good for the league.
I think it's dope too. Let's see what he got. We just talked about getting more opportunities for guys. I think it's fun. I think we should definitely let more people play. And go to J. Cole. I like his music. I didn't know he was a basketball star, but it makes sense. A lot of these kids are from the hood, and the only way to get out is either with a microphone or some kind of ball. All right, this one's a little bit teed up for you. It's kind of like a flowers / not. Kobe
Uh-huh.
gets inducted. Kobe gets inducted to the NBA Hall of Fame. Thoughts?
I think they need to change the whole approach to the Hall of Fame. I think the day these guys are retired, they need to go in right away. I think a lot of these guys, because it's either you're a Hall of Famer or you're not, and you're not gonna wait, 5 years. Like KG was a first ballot Hall of Famer. Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, all these guys are first ballot Hall of Famers. There's no like guys who are going to the NBA Hall of Fame now who you have question marks about. Like Chris Paul, first ballot Hall of Famer. LeBron James, first ballot Hall of Famer. Carmelo Anthony, D Wade. All these dudes are just first ballot Hall of Famers. Like, why are we waiting for these guys to,
So now,
to
let me ask you something really quickly. Is there long waiting list like in the NFL? Because that's the thing about the NFL. There's a fucking waiting list of motherfuckers that get snubbed after snub after snub. Is it kind of like that in the NBA too, or the guys that are supposed to go in just go in automatically?
I
In
think
the
that
sense that they're waiting their time.
well, I think you have to be 5 years retired from when you leave the game, if I'm not mistaken, for the NBA. Because the thing is that with the Basketball Hall of Fame, it takes your entire career. It's not your NBA career. That's not how the Basketball Hall of Fame works. The NFL Hall of Fame is just NFL. So the Basketball Hall of Fame, if you were playing in Croatia and cooking in Croatia and averaging 40-point triple doubles, that goes into consideration for the Basketball Hall of Fame. So like next year it's going to be Tony Kukoc, if I'm not mistaken, Chris Bosh, I think Chris Webber, and I forgot one more.
But those guys, I would say all yes, right?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like the guys who are coming up,
90s. You're right.
Yeah.
They're gonna get bumped.
so like you got like a lot of guys who come in, like the superstars of the era, kind of like a Tracy McGrady, Shaq, all those dudes
Carter.
are gonna be first ballot Hall of Famers and are gonna get in before somebody else who was on like on the list. So like I feel like
So did Kobe jumped the line?
no, he was retired to 2016, waited his 5 years, and then he was getting in already.
Right. But I'm saying, do you think that they expedited the process, being that he passed away?
No, he was going in regardless.
But why a guy like Tony Kukoc has to wait so long is what my question is.
Maybe he didn't have the votes, depending on who was up that year.
Right. Okay, that's what it is. So again, the writers who have never played a down of anything in their whole entire life gear the whole deal. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
I want to throw homeboy a little bit of flowers. I know that we introduced that segment last week, but panache, swagger, bravado, whatever you want to say, seemed like the coolest dude on the fucking planet because basically borrowed MJ's style and made it cooler. MJ's kind of a dick. I loved MJ. I've always watched all the greats. It's weird my love with the NBA because I grew up watching Michael Jordan. Then the torch got passed over to Kobe Bryant, and that was awesome. I'm a little mad we left some hardware on the table. We should have definitely took it down when we had the glove and Karl Malone and some other times too. But overall, what a success. Probably one of the hardest working players I've ever seen. The guy just defied all odds, played and shoot at a level. I mean, I think he was especially more polished than Michael was, being that he played at an international level, which is a lot of shooting more than dunking and taking it up to the rim and the rack. But all the cool stuff. Love the afro. I love 8 and 24. 8 version of Kobe, the 24 version of Kobe. Just everything great about him. Now, the shit with the Shaq and some of the off the field stuff, obviously not amazing, but it's crazy to think that he's not with us no longer. And he was obviously doing different things. He was getting on different levels of business, doing stuff with ESPN. Also, trying to get, his daughter into basketball. I know he had some philanthropy things. One of the things that someone told me about Kobe that knew him was that this was a man who wanted to be around the best people that did the best in their space so he could learn how to be better. And it's just unbelievable. So I'm excited that he's in. Couldn't be more excited. Never put any money in his pocket directly by buying his jerseys or his sneakers. But we played a hell of a lot of games with NBA Live. So he's sorely missed. Another dude that's piecing it out, and I wanted to get your opinion on this too. Kind of a flower / ending of around the leagues. Marv Albert is calling it a season after this year. What are your thoughts on Marv Albert?
he's one of those guys like the voice of basketball. You know, just how Joe Buck is going to be the voice of he's the voice of the World Series and of NFL. Marv Albert in the playoffs. Or marquee games or Reggie Miller. It's gonna be a weird thing. Who's gonna take over for him? And we'll see. He left a great career, a lot of memorable moments in the playoffs. Just hearing him, speak, and it's gonna, it's every time you keep looking up, like it's just a finite amount of time that a lot of legends are just gonna be away. Another 3 or 4 years. No LeBron, no Tom Brady. My man Derek.
When that happens,
My man Derek Jeter, when he stepped away, that was a tough one. Kobe stepping away, it was a tough one. You have all these guys. It's a passing of a torch, and it's gonna be a weird thing, seeing how basketball, especially playoff intensity basketball, is gonna be without Marv Albert.
Yeah, and there's nobody, to be honest with you, that I really enjoy listening that come with his style and some of the words that he has said. It's almost like that guy that does the fight night stuff.
Oh yeah, let's get ready to rumble.
Yeah, so it's gonna be sad. I kind of agree with Jay like crazy in the sense of we should start being more interested in showing love to these people while they're with us and not be so sad when they bounce, because they obviously have been in the building, for 20 years. I think Marv had some off the field stuff back in the heyday and kind of put him in a little bit of trouble, but really enjoyed having him and him being the voice of the game. So, sad to see him retire. I got to get back on my NBA shit. So really quickly, before we get into Critics Corner, what's happening? What are some of your thoughts with the playoffs and how this is all shaping up and who's playing who and what's happening, or what are the games that you want to be watching?
Well, tonight you got the Lakers versus the Warriors. I think it's happening.
It's a one game, right?
No. There's a 7 versus the 8. So the way it works now, I got it right. So the play-in tournament, the way it works is the 7 plays the 8 seed. Whoever wins that game is the 7th seed. Then the 8th, the team that lost that game gets to play anybody from the 9 or 10 winner, and then whoever wins that game is the 8th seed.
That's fire.
Yeah, so like it gives you an incentive at the end of the year to be,
competitive still. Yes,
playing
off games. Yes.
That's it. So, but it so far it was the Eastern Conference went last night. It was a little bit of a dud. You had the Hornets get slapped by like 30, 40 points.
Celtics, right?
No, they got slapped by the Pacers.
Oh, yes, the Pacers. I posted that on Twitter, and I can't remember.
And then the Celtics slapped the Wizards by 18. So like it's been a little bit underwhelming, but I hope tonight's a good game between the Warriors and the Lakers. Yeah, Warriors Lakers.
Do you think LA's gonna beat them?
They should. They should on paper beat the Warriors. But for whatever reason, the Warriors have been clicking right now.
Steph is cooking like a motherfucker, bro.
Yep.
Fucking player of the month, player back-to-back months. Like, single-handedly putting the team on his back.
Yep.
Gosh.
And I was talking about this the other day. I was like, it's a little disrespectful how people are just dismissing Klay Thompson like he's not a fucking great player. You have a lot of people out here in these streets saying, oh, the Warriors are not one Klay Thompson away from getting back to the championship. And I'm like, do you guys have amnesia? Like, have you guys gotten into several car accidents and bumped your head? The Warriors won a championship with Klay Thompson and Harrison Barnes. They got Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins is better than Harrison Barnes. So you're going to tell me if Klay Thompson comes back and he comes back to with the Klay Thompson that we know, you're going to tell me that he's not going to be, that they're not going to be championship contenders? Like, how disrespectful is that? He's a sniper and an elite defender. And I get it.
He's filthy.
Yeah, and I get it. He's gotten some crazy injuries on the same leg, torn Achilles and ACL. But, when you're a spot-up shooter, you don't need that,
right, I was
that much anyway. And we're like so far in advance in our science. Look at KD. KD looked like he didn't miss a fucking step, coming back, and he tore his Achilles. But I feel like it's disrespectful to the Warriors. People don't notice Steph Curry is 17-5 against LeBron James.
Wow.
In his career. Heads up.
Including, right?
Everything. Heads up. 17-5 against LeBron. And that doesn't get talked about a lot. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, if you want to get to a championship, the player you should have is LeBron James. But if you want to win a championship, you wouldn't want LeBron James. You would want Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. You know, like people who've won at a high clip in the chip. You know, so I just find it weird. You know, I find it weird, but people, you know, I get it. You got a lot of LeBron lovers out there, but you even chuckled a little bit because it's true. It's like, all right, if you want to get to the championship and win a championship, you want Tom Brady because you know he's gonna fucking deliver.
He might be the only guy at this point right now playing a game that could do both. That could deliver during the regular season and then deliver on top of that in the postseason.
Exactly.
Because a lot of guys can't do both.
And then the funny thing, like I said, that people will go and say, if you say that about LeBron, oh, but LeBron didn't have enough help. I'm like, enough. Is he the GOAT? Yes or no? You can't.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT to me. I think what he did for the back to back, and not even pulling all those chips, that's so hard to do, even if the East was trash.
Michael Jordan's the GOAT.
But to me, there's many GOATs. It just depends. In this era, he's the GOAT in this era. Kobe Bryant.
And I don't even think he's the GOAT in this era.
Who's better than him? Steph Curry? Curry, you could say that they're tied.
But you can't be a GOAT and tied.
I guess maybe the way I'm qualifying it is that we just have never seen him.
I think what he's done is
dominate. And
I think he has done greatness, but he isn't the greatest of all time. Not even in this era. I don't think so.
He's top 5 players of all time. Yes or no?
10.
9 and 10, or like 6 and 7?
Like 7, 8, okay. Around there. Because I always find this confusing to me, right? Because we were just talking about Kobe Bryant, right? If he's 2.0, right, of Michael Jordan, right? So if you're 2.0 and you're just a smidgen less talented than Michael Jordan, and Jordan has 6 and you have 5, why? Like, I hate when people skip over Kobe.
Yeah, well, I guess they don't remember him, but Kobe was a beast.
He's 12 times all defense, first team defense. Like,
that's one thing that I gotta say that's probably a knock against LeBron. He has never won that fucking award.
No, but he's won it 5 times, I believe.
Okay.
Or 6 times, something like that. But he's never been a lockdown defender. You know, first team All NBA is locking you down. Like, Jordan was that 10 times. Jordan won Defensive Player of the Year.
That's what I'm saying. 10 times. Like, that's filthy.
You know, and Jordan,
yes.
And people don't get, like, when you look at Jordan's entire resume, he overshadows LeBron's, even LeBron, Kobe, everybody's resume. The only person who has something similar to him is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Right.
And Kareem, he doesn't even get considered. And he's like 6-3 in the finals, or 6-4 in the finals. And he doesn't even get considered it. I just think everybody's in this hyperbolic, we actually seen it visually with your eyes. LeBron, just get there. You know, but I always say it as like, getting there isn't enough, man. Like, you got to win. You have to win and win at a high clip. You know, the reason why Joe Montana is, you know, like this, now he's a second GOAT. And the reason why Tom Brady took over him is because to win a Super Bowl is fucking ridiculously hard. And you had Kendrick Perkins. We didn't even talk about it. We could touch on this real quick. Kendrick Perkins said winning a NBA championship is harder than winning a Super Bowl.
That's wrong.
And I was like, you know how many things could go wrong in a one game?
That's it. That's what I was gonna say. It's one game. Nobody else. Baseball, basketball. You can't touch it. One game, and you have more moving parts with 11 guys on both sides.
And in the playoffs, it's one and done. There's none of this. Oh, we'll reevaluate. We're going back home.
Look at these whiny babies that got a one and done scenario and they started losing their fucking mind. I.e. LeBron James.
Exactly.
Right? It had to go to one game playoff. It's like, what? Someone's gonna get fired. It's like,
you know, peep this too. Nobody talks about this. LeBron didn't make the playoffs his first 2 years in the league, and that just gets swept under the rug too. You know, like it's, you know, like Jordan is the GOAT.
For sure.
It's like it's just
MJ too. MJ didn't win out the gate either. So
right. Of course not. Of course not. But when he decided
to turn that fucking switch on and say, "I will be, all be, nobody will be better than me," forget about it.
Because I was talking about this too. Like, all right, I get it. LeBron gets a lot of rebounds. He gets a lot of assists. He controls everything.
Right,
And
he's a different player.
but what I'm saying is like all of that doesn't create to a winning percentage in the finals.
Yeah. Well, I
Like
think that might actually be his downfall.
exactly. I always said that, and people don't.
Like, what are you talking about?
When-
I'm the winner. Give me the fucking right. You think Tom Brady's like, I'm gonna run the ball right here? No, Tom Brady's like, listen, this is me right here. You motherfuckers line up.
But when it comes to LeBron James, and people don't understand this, and then like, and then you got some people say, "So what?"
Oh
If
my god, you've been talking to some crazy fools.
Because people love we love him like LeBron and have no are super biased towards him. So like when LeBron goes to like people don't understand this. LeBron controls the game basically 85 to 90% of the entire game, right? So he calls the plays, he does everything. When he goes to the bench, the people come on the court are lost because the system isn't there anymore. They might call plays and shit like that, but now those guys coming onto the floor, they're so used to LeBron doing everything and dictating everything. And LeBron will be up. They'll be the team with LeBron on the court. They'll be up 10 points. LeBron goes to the bench. The team is down 8 points when LeBron goes to the bench because he controls every aspect of the entire game and doesn't let this just offense flow. Like Phil Jackson had the triangle offense. Anybody could run that offense and will be successful in that offense. Granted, he get some of the greatest players of all time, but he had a set system where if anybody went to the bench, that's the system they were running. The same motions, the same everything. And that's the shit what happens with LeBron. Goes to the bench, team starts giving up the lead, he gets slapped, then he has to go back in faster than he wanted to. And people don't like to talk about that or listen to that. And this is why MJ is the GOAT. MJ didn't have total control over the Bulls.
I was just gonna say that. That's a very interesting dynamic that you create because when he had Jackson, or even before he had Jackson, right? It was a team like coaching style, not Michael getting the fucking.
But even in Michael's whole career, he didn't get the free reign that LeBron has gotten.
That's what I'm saying.
He's gotten to pick who he wanted on his staff. He got to trade this player out, bring this player in. I'm going to Miami. We're signing Chris Bosh. We're gonna going back to
the owner.
That's what I'm saying.
Player,
so he at the end of the whole thing, it's no fault but his own fault of what the shortcomings. Because like if Jerry Krause wasn't an asshole and just said, all right, look, they won 3 in a row, all right.
That's sign.
We're gonna bring everybody back for 1 more year. Oh, they won 4 in a row. Let's go bring another person to do another year. But no, Pride came into it, and you would think if Jordan the GOAT, he didn't have any say.
Right.
They still fired Phil Jackson. He's like, all right, I'm out. So that's why my take when it comes to LeBron being a little baby and he's controlling everything, and everybody makes it seem like just being there is enough.
I don't think Kobe Bryant had that much control.
Nope. He didn't.
Control in that argument. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't.
Like that's a very, very interesting thing. I think, LBJ is probably on an island in that respect because he's gotten coaches fired because he wants to be the guy, right? Yeah, so that's actually interesting. This is definitely a take we got to put up on social because I think a lot of people will respond to it a lot just because, when you look at these 3 guys, listen, there's no argument that they're not all incredible players.
Fantastic players, all 3 of them.
But you got to put them in order. And LeBron is phenomenal, but he's also been his own worst enemy in a lot of times. That's a very interesting point of view. He's definitely been the demise in his own worst enemy at the end of the day. I think this is definitely a lesson to be learned. I also think the same thing about Kawhi. Kawhi is very similar to that too. Now he's kind of becoming his own worst enemy where he wants to be the coach and he's going to tell you how many days he could take off and how many days he could play. And it's like, bro, just fucking play the game and let the guys that are doing the other thing do their thing. But that kind of takes us out of around the leagues. This week the sports stories weren't as crazy as they normally were, but it just seems like the common thread through the narrative was, just do your thing, man, and everything else kind of falls to its way. It's interesting when you look at Tom because Tom on the New England, he didn't do shit. He just played football, right? Now he's kind of entering the GM and I'm the owner's swag, but he won. We win, no one says anything.
Exactly.
So we're gonna take it to the next segment that we kind of enjoyed too, because I love watching Hollow's face. I think this one might not be that bad, hopefully. So we're in our final phase here, Critics Corner. This week we're gonna do the review of a movie that a lot of people I don't think have really seen. It didn't get a lot of love. It kind of got buried because COVID happened. I also think, and I can't remember her name right now, but
Christian Stewart.
Terrible. Thank you. Thank you. That's why you my guy, bro. My dude. Kristen Stewart has kind of had some bad fucking flack in the media, and she also did another terrible movie. I was going to call it Spice Girls, but it was Charlie's Angels, and that one just didn't do great. I kind of like this one. So, Underwater. What are your thoughts?
I thought that the suspense was good, and I thought homeboy, I forget the comedian's name. I thought it reminded me a little.
Cool.
Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of Mortal Kombat in the sense of you had the one character kind of carrying the cast, kind of thing. But at least they had better actors. Like the acting was really good.
They paid a lot of people. This movie was supposed to be a huge film and got basically fucking shelved. So they paid a lot of people. You know, even the girl from Iron Fist, who I think she's a good actress too,
Yeah,
was coming up, and also from Game of Thrones. So yeah, it was kind of crazy.
I wish they would have showed the monsters a little bit more. They didn't show them enough. I thought that was
all that fucking money for the underwater shit. You didn't show the monsters.
They maybe showed about 10 minutes of the movie. I thought that was kind of lame. It didn't get confusing. It was just a little awkward on how like one guy's mask broke, but like she went flying like 600-700 times, and none of her shit broke ever.
The thing ate her.
Yeah, like
ate her, bro.
So I'm like, and then she shot the gun like next to her shit, and there's supposed to be explosion, and that that happened. But then they had the whole end of the movie. I'm like, wait, that like she could have gotten the pod too, like.
I would have pushed that girl over and been like, listen, move.
We going together. Like, we both fit in this bitch. Like, I thought that was weird.
Me and Jay would have been, H and D would have been holding each other.
Oh, even the homeboy, I'm like, yo, bro, you're a goner, bro. You're slowing us down. You go blow this shit up. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. Fuck this.
Yo, true story.
I thought they didn't, I thought the backstories weren't clear enough. I thought they just showed a lot of like pictures and then like emotions of a specific thing. Like she showed a picture of her husband or the guy, whatever she was in love with, and I was like, all right, cool. It would have been dope if they did a little bit of flashback. I thought it was like, I get it, they're on the water. They could have played different angles where like do a little bit of flashbacking of people's like the backstory kind of thing. Like get the captain and his daughter or his life. They could do like that. Get him out of so much darkness the entire time, I thought that was weird. And then you had, when they were initially getting in to the shit to go down below, how did all of a sudden his shit got cracked out of nowhere? Like, I thought they checked all of their gear. Like, they were all checking each other, making sure everything was good. You don't think somebody's going to notice, yo, my shit got a crack in it. And I thought it was, I thought that shit like that was annoying. I would give it a 6 out of 10.
Listen, first of all, that's better than Mortal Kombat.
Oh, by far.
Mortal Kombat definitely set the bar like ridiculously low for us. Okay, a bunch of different things. First of all, the opening sequence I thought was dope. The spider and the toothbrush shit, that shit could have got skipped. But just like the explosions and the water and some of that stuff, like early on, it was dope.
Oh, talking about that real quick. You just reminded me.
Go ahead.
She was getting dressed. She put her socks and her sneakers on. Then, if you notice, she had socks where her feet were coming at the socks. I was so confused of where the fuck did her sneakers go?
She got blown out of her sneakers.
I don't get it. That was weird.
They're real good. I didn't even notice she put sneakers and socks on. God damn. That's why I sent you in there. You be thorough. Okay, so I didn't even know she got blown out of her shit. And I was wondering, you know what I was thinking when they were doing it? I was like, Are they trying to like get some foot fetish shit going down? Like, why does she have her feet wrapped? I don't even know what's happening. I totally missed that part. I've seen this movie like 5 times and I still haven't seen it all the way through. I thought it would be fun to watch it with you. That opening 10, like I said, that first 10 minutes was great. I thought it was awesome. I think to kind of, because I try to bail out these movies a little bit. I think the fact that they weren't all trained divers, that's how it happened. Because like if you look at it, Homeboy is looking at 2 helmets. I don't think they checked the equipment. Like he's looking at it, not really knowing what the fuck was happening. So I think because Kristen Stewart was leading the narrative on the whole deal, and that was kind of her whole argument. Like, this is not easy for people who are not comfortable or not experienced divers. So I thought that had a little bit of consistency. I really like the dude from Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 12. He's a great actor, the French dude.
Yeah.
I thought he was great. I definitely for sure, like, I felt like I was thinking about a lot like you. It was too long. If you could have shaved it down, it would have been fire, right? Like they were just trying to do too much. I also think that right now with the flashback shit, they're doing flashbacks too much. So I kind of liked it that they didn't try to go to the well on that, because that just seems to be the way. Like once fucking Arrow on the CW made that shit, now everybody does fucking flashbacks. It's like a flashback, like the whole fucking season is flashback. I'm like, okay, listen, let's stop doing the flashback shit. Let's get creative. I thought it was just different. It had a very Aliens 1, Aliens 2 theme for me.
True.
Just because it was a little creepy and it was dark and it was different, especially when they brought the organism back onto the ship. Some of the stuff for sure was it consistent. I would say a 7, just because if you didn't know nothing about it, it was kind of entertaining, and if you weren't like nitpicking it, it was kind of different. You don't really see any movies. It reminded me a little bit like an homage to Abyss, which I don't know if our viewers know about that movie, but that was a really great like underwater old school film. I thought the suits were dope. It was very different, very interesting. One of the things that I thought was bullshit was, okay, so the monster, whatever, right, takes Homeboy and they're holding each other's hands, right? And she's like, I'm breaking. How did you find the other girl? You would have never found anybody, right? Like it goes from her doing that, she falls to the ground, then she ends up in the room. I gotta watch this fucking movie again because obviously I must have missed parts. But I go in the room, then she makes a new outfit, and then they're back together. I was like, and then Homegirl still dragging the. So she didn't die. She was the one that was like the weakest sauce person on the whole entire team, and she survives. Like I was just weird. And then for sure, when I was like, you would have been done. First of all, like, why did you wait for it to like take all of your body? I would have been shooting shit like a motherfucker from
right away.
As soon as that shit opened the mouth, I would have been like, poo. And then for sure, the whole ending with the bigger organism, that was sick. But again, why did we wait so long? I felt like that should have been the climax. Like some of that other stuff should have been fast forward. Like I know they were trying to be like build it, but I think it was like getting built too long. But overall, I did enjoy it. I to be honest with you, I like Kristen Stewart. I know she gets a knock for a lot of the stuff that she's done, off the field in the sense of who she's dating, who she's not dating. Is she straight? Is she not straight? I think she could bring it. I think she's a great actress. I think that this was a really good movie. I thought that the cast was great. I thought the special effects was awesome. I thought the buildup was great, but like I said, a little inconsistency in the narrative, and also too could have been shorter, and I think it would have even packed more of a punch if it was less bullshit. And then and one of the things that a lot of people hate is the forced feminine shit. I didn't feel like it was forced. It kind of seemed a little believable, more so than others, because what was I watching the other day? I was watching some movie with my missus, and she was like, "Oh, we were watching. We'll preview that because you got HBO Max. Next week we'll do the Angelina Jolie movie." And Angelina Jolie be doing movies like, I'm like, bro, if you got punched in the face by a man, you would be finished. Let alone get punched in the face 5 times. You would have been knocked out. I think I've seen dudes get punched in the face and it's like good night, right? By stronger dudes. And so, we'll watch that movie where you can see Angelina Jolie be a female firefighter. That's gonna be interesting.
Okay.
We'll roast that. But like I said, how they try to do that whole narrative, I didn't think it was forced. I really dig the movie. I thought it was cool, fun, easy. If you went in there without trying to be too harsh of a critic, it was okay. Special effects were fire. And it's crazy that this movie didn't get no love.
I think it's just because of her, and also of we had the pandemic,
right?
HBO Max didn't really kick off, until what was it, March of 2020? Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Even HBO Max didn't kick off right away too. And then
HBO Max kicked off this year with Justice League and Wonder Woman and all of that stuff and little things. You know what I mean? And little things. And so
you know what it was? They highlighted all those shitty ass movies, and nobody wanted to go scroll down for other movies to watch because it was like, look at this nonsense.
oh, by the way, did you see that fucking Amazon just try to purchase MGM, the movie studio,
No.
for $9 billion?
That's a fucking that's $100 million to him.
Yeah, so he's just trying. They're just trying to keep up now. I'll be honest with you. Like us saying going back to normal, I don't think it's gonna be that thing anymore. I think some levies got broken, and direct to demand is gonna be a thing now. Especially when before, when you seen a movie go straight to DVD or straight to demand, you thought it was garbage. Now we got high budget films that people are gonna be doing. Oh, by the way, real quick, and we'll get out. Did you see the Snake Eyes
trailer? I saw some of it. That's like a very 5 seconds. It wasn't a lot.
All right. That isn't. By the way, is it stupid that I think that I'm gonna be geeked for Fast and Furious 9?
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that takes us to the end of the show. Hollow, tell them what they can do.
Make sure you guys follow us on all the handles. All the links are down below in the description. Make sure you check us out. Show some love. Hit that subscribe button, like, notification bell, and make sure you guys tune in. See you next week.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Stay safe, stay healthy, and